Yep. All right, yo. Yo, I almost didn't react to the chapter because somebody said it was mid. Come to think of it, it was actually Vegapunk who got in our way. Oh, okay, so I guess they're not fighting anymore. They've come to the conclusion that Vegapunk was the one that was foiling their plans. Egghead Factory, you people, you all need to get off this island. What? What's going on, Sir Sentomaru? Just what is happening on the island? Why are there pacifistas deployed all over the island? Long ago, there was this land called Ohara. One day just vanished off the world map because they defied the world government. An Ohara incident refresher? Them going after Old Man Punk, the smartest man in the world, means they've weighed all the possible consequences and decided it's time to erase him. If so, then an incident much worse than that incident can happen here at any time. Hurry up, Straw Hat. What's going on up there? Command Room 4F Building A. Command Room 4F Building A. What the hell are these guys? Kong Organ. Hand Pistol. Yellow Lotus. We might have to reevaluate the Seraphim if they're okay where they should be after these attacks. Because is this just a Lunarian thing or is it just based off of how they're actually built? Because if Luffy using Kong Organ and Rob Lucci using Hand Pistol Yellow Lotus can't get through this defense, should we give Zoro a bit more credit for defeating King? I don't know. Tempest Kick. One Sword Style. Shishi So Song. Lion Song. Yo! Them niggas said... Oh, you guys are getting up way too fast. Enough already. What are you guys, Kaido? That is tough. Okay. All right. Do you guys understand what's happening here? Here's the realization I just had. A Yonko commander, and two characters that around, I would say Kaku and Rob Lucci around Yonko commanders, right? So you have a Yonko and three Yonko commanders, give or take. And they can't take down two Seraphim. A symbol. That is scary and impressive at the same time. Now that I think about it, they kind of look like that king guy I fought in Wano. Kaido's crew had a Lunarian. I don't know what tribe he was from or what his name was. Wait, Zoro just noticed that? I guess he just noticed the flame. Oh, the wings? He just noticed that? Wait, okay. Does it make sense for Shaka not to know that King is Lunarian? Well, I guess yes, because we don't see King's face. Yes. Okay. Zoro only notices the black skin. Said, of course, my dumbass husband Billy noticed. That man was probably Albert. The test subject who escaped from Punk has with Kaido. The Seraphim was strengthened by his Lunarian blood. Really? If that's the case, keep an eye for the flames on their backs. Our attacks only work when that flame is out. But when they're on fire, they're almost invincible. Sorry for making you guys waste energy like that. I should have noticed sooner. No, it's fine. At least now we know how to fight them. So with the flame on, King's special features were his white hair, dark skin, black wings and flames on his backs. Yeah, Zoro's an idiot. You should have noticed way sooner. Where are you going, Helmet? I have an idea where Stella might be located. Get out of our damn way. We're in a bit of a rush. Third floor, building A. Let's go, Zeus. Nami got her cheeks in there. All right, don't think of him as a kid. You hurt? Okay, hold on. You hurt my friends. You beat Edison half to death. You're a murder machine. You're not cute at all. You're nothing like a kid. You're right, Nami. Don't hold back. Just close your eyes. Push me out and leave the rest to me. Thunderbolt. Wait. No way. No way in hell. No way. No way. I don't care how super effective it is. Did he just dive again? Nami, get out of there. He's coming up from below you. What? It didn't work? Oh, okay. Yo, if Nami had knocked out Seraphim Jinbei, going by Article 1 of Sanji Land's Constitution, scaring Nami is punishable by death. But by Article 9, making Nami scream is punishable by Cooked rear strike. Sanji, Nami, are you hurt anywhere? I'll take care of it now. I already warned you once, you damned brat. I don't care if you're just a little brat or Jinbei. You'll be put to death, little Jinbei. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Like I've been saying, bruh. Sanji been waiting for the Jinbei smoke. He been waiting for it. What's his eyebrow? Ooh, that's interesting. Does that mean he's activated? 3rd floor, building C. How dare you turn York into stone? Bubble gun. Oh, you mid. Yikes, that did nothing. Huh? What? I get, okay. It's sea stone, right? It's sea stone, so I guess it makes sense. It makes sense. All right. That's the risk of having green blood. Bubble is your weakness. Whoa, that was awesome, Lilith. Let's subdue her while we can. Don't touch me, you bastard. Wait, it can talk? Am I tripping? I mean, of course it can. Because Kuma did say Ursa Shock. Wait, these motherfuckers got personalities? I wonder if the personality grows, right? Like the longer they're around people, do they start talking more? Does it really, is it appropriate to call them it? Are they more human than anything? Because if that's the case, do they have the ability to use Haki at some point? Can they learn it? Because if these niggas can learn Haki, the effect already wore off. That's because it just grazed her. Ooh, she's mad. How about it now, you little brat? Nice one, Frankie. I told you the bubble gun works. Give it up, little runt. I'm suffering. I'm sorry. Perfume femur. Damn it, I'm turning to stone. Frankie's turning into a stone. That's not good. He's gonna die. Bubble gun. Damn, Usopp and Lilith. Yeah, if they learn Haki, it's over, bro. I don't know if it's appropriate to call them things anymore. I don't think Frankie's reaction is one of attraction to Baby Boa. It's just like, it's a kid and he's just concerned. It's not like the Marines. We're not gonna do that to Frankie. I guess it is reminiscent to the ants learning Nen. Because if they learn Haki, bro, and if they somehow learn Conquerors, and because they're made to evolve, right? That's the whole point. They're made so that they could evolve. So if Usopp and Lilith got caught up. Underground, formerly a devil fruit laboratory. Huh? Who's there? Are you the culprit? Get us out of here. It's a cipher pole that came here in the past. Why are you here? Help me, please. I don't want to die. Shaka, Stella. So you were here. Who on earth did this to you? Shaka, who did you come with, huh? Fuck! Oh. Like normally Oda gives us like a little silhouette. He don't give us, but he gave us like something. Okay, because it's weird, right? It's interesting because we saw the silhouette of the guy who apparently destroyed the camera. So it could be that guy. Says York. I like that. I like that, but oh my God. Frodo Baggage, appreciate you, my G. No. Dr. Umar, thank you. Because remember when in the real story, we had someone like Doflamingo took over the island of Dressrosa. If the personality translates, what if this little motherfucker is trying to manipulate and take over Egghead as well? I would love that, by the way. I would love it if it was fucking S Flamingo. Hey, Frodo Baggage joined the squad. Appreciate you, my G. Yo, if it's S Flamingo and this nigga's the mastermind, if Oda does that, bro, we gotta call. If it's S Flamingo, we gotta call Oda the GOAT for a week. All right, let me ask y'all. If it is S Flamingo, I guess people say it depends on how he was able to regain control, right? If it is S Flamingo, trapping everybody in Egghead, it just feels like Dofi, doesn't it? Like if S Flamingo, S Croc, and they're working together. I mean, like I said, bro, that Jurassic Park. Also, This nigga asked him about Law before he got caught up, right? Because he saw Law on the rooftop, all that. He's like, he's a cool support character. I got him like, I don't know, around Sanji or something. I was like, okay. I was like, well, he's like, what is Law gonna do for the rest of the arc? I was like, you're gonna get, because I thought he's gonna wait for the anime, but I was like, all right, once Law does something, you're gonna call me and you're gonna ask me about Law, right? After he read Law and Kid versus Big Mom, the nigga was like, yo, Law might be him. I was like, nigga, I told you. I was like, what do you think about Kid? And he said, I was like, what? It's like, he was there, but in Law though. I was like, damn. Even like somebody that's not in the community, they're like, Kid,
Nah. I think we get the face reveal.
You think? Oh, you don't think he's dead?
Nah. It hit his cheek.
Oh, his cheek. Okay. But since Oda kind of gave us like a great cliffhanger for what's going on in Egghead, he could really go to something else.
Start the next chapter off in Elbaf?
Somewhere else.
It's possible.
You know, so it's just like, I mean, overall the chapter was cool. It's a cool chapter.
You think about it, the Blackbeard part actually had 3 parts to it, because you had the Blackbeard pulling up on Law, then you had the fight the next chapter, then like mad chapters later, all the way to 1071, you have Garp saying, yeah, I'm going to Achinosu to fight Blackbeard. Still part of the same sword line.
Yeah. But then also, is Oda trying to somewhat buy time with the Vegapunk thing, and he's going to kind of have it coincide with the cover story?
It's possible. The cover stories are honestly very exciting these days with how they could tie into the main plot.
Because they were like, come to think of it, it was actually Vegapunk who got in our way. Like, could Vegapunk be a bit more conniving than we thought?
Well, I think get in their way as in like holding them back from being truly evil.
No, for sure, because he kind of shut down a lot of shit that they were doing, but could it be some more to that?
What if this is Germa and Gangster Gastino shooting Vegapunk?
What the fuck?
That'd be terrible. If Germa is the one that kidnapped him, because it's like revenge, so they broke in.
Yeah.
Ugh, because Caesar was running away from everybody.
Last time we cut off, it was a Seraphim again. Like it was Boa actually attacking Pythagoras. I think people are right on the money with this whole S Flamingo thing.
Oh, you fucking with that?
Yeah, I think it makes the most sense. Especially as a kid. Like we knew that he had that pistol on him.
I'm just gonna say it's Germa / judge / queen.
What's up with you, Eric?
Queen as well?
Yeah, Sanji kicked into Egghead.
Queen is dead, bro.
We know Sanji didn't kick him to Egghead. We saw him in Udon.
I know, bro.
Queen is dead, bro. He's gone. They say that doesn't make sense because the CP agents have been captured for weeks.
Exactly, 2 months to be exact.
They said that's but you're fine with all the other wacky theories. Yeah, I mean, I just think that'd be just underwhelming.
Whole cake.
Whole cake?
How many weeks is whole cake on? Yeah.
Probably a month and a half, right? Something like that.
Interesting.
It does scream Doflamingo though, like keeping like government agents locked underneath the whole area. It's literally what he was doing on Dressrosa.
I don't think it's Doflamingo, but I think that'd be a cool thing to enter to be in the story.
Yeah, that's true. The only thing that sucks about the whole S Flamingo thing is like the motives. It's like if the only motives is you're evil, then it's not really like anything amazing. It's like, damn, Vegapunk, you're a dumbass for making an evil Seraphim that can potentially be super evil without any failsafes.
Oh, you didn't understand like the
didn't understand. It's crazy though because he made them.
Yeah, but I think you can make something and don't understand just how great it is, right? Just the repercussions that could come from it. I guess.
But you saw his eyes in the last page. It was like somebody he never expected, you know?
In this chapter?
Yeah, at the end of the chapter, like he gets a glimpse of who the person is. And it's just like bloodshot eyes almost. He's like he's that surprised.
I think it's
because he's looking at Shaka getting shot. He's concerned. Then we see the footsteps, and then it zooms in on his face with the footsteps sound effects going off. So it has to be somebody he never expected, like at all.
If like I said, I would like it to be somebody interesting, somebody that can actually shake shit up. Judging Caesar, that's cool, but it just feels a bit underwhelming.
It's not gonna be Judge Caesar, bro.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, as far as the speaking thing, like, have the others spoken? Like S Shark and who else?
Didn't S Snake speak like the second time we saw her?
Well, she's the one that's been speaking
Speaking the most, but
Yeah.
you also gotta realize the other Seraphims are very stoic characters, like Jinbei,
Mihawk.
Kuma, Mihawk. Even as Shichibukai, these guys aren't like talkers. I mean, Jinbei is, but that's only when he's like in explanation mode.
information. Jinbei tell you like what's been happening, what's been going on.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. I guess so, but that goes back to the personality thing. Do you guys think they can develop more of a personality as they grow? And
I think so.
do you think they're more human or objects?
I think they're more human. They're clones, right? With Lunarian DNA. Like even when Jinbei sees S Shark, or he's like, these are clones. Like, well, wow, we've been cloned. It's not like, wow, these robots look like us.
So then that means that they'll definitely have Haki.
I think so. I think that was always the case. It's just if they're trained, because it's not like you just possess Haki. You got to train for that, right?
Right.
Eventually, like they said, that they unlock more of their copies' memories.
It's kind of weird.
Styles.
Like Rayleigh says that Haki is will, right? So that these things have their own will.
Will comes with a personality, right?
Right.
If your will can be taken away, but you still have the capacity for will.
Yeah, so like, it's kind of like if, for instance, the warlords, when they're working with the world government, right? That's like saying, okay, at the point in Marineford, because they're doing something that they really don't want to do, they can't use Haki at that point. I don't think it necessarily works that way.
True.
Also, a question of like soul and spirit, and how do you recreate that?
I mean, at this point,
well, they have souls.
They have a soul, right?
It also brings up moral questions for like Fujitora, where he's cool with like, I don't know, slavery in a way.
I think it's a means to an end for him, because the opposite is if I could have these Shichibukai, but they listen to orders, it's better than Shichibukai that
don't listen to orders.
Exactly. that can ruin thousands of people's lives.
I don't know. I guess it's just not really where I thought Fujitora was going.
I mean, I don't think Fujitora
doesn't know the extent of.
He didn't know where it was going. Yeah, I think in Fujitora's mind, it was all right. We need something better, right? And if it can be something that's not necessarily evil pirates who's killed a lot of people that we really can't control, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with whatever comes with it, because I mean, and then like you said, Eric, it depends on if he views these. I'm sure he's going to view them as people, but does he actually know that they're people?
I don't think so. I don't think he knows the full extent. Like when he visited Vegapunk to see these Seraphim, it's not like, "Hello, how are you?" It's like, I think they had a combat test. They showed them the capabilities.
Yeah.
And then he's like, yeah, they're ready.
Like, we good. But if they have Haki, bro, because I mean, they took attacks from some of the strongest niggas in the series, and they just dusted it off. I mean, of course, it's the Lunarian shit, but like,
yeah. I didn't realize. What's crazy? It's because like, I didn't realize the extent of Lunarian durability because of the fight with Zoro, right? Because I just expected like, oh, okay, that's probably also because of King, like as a person, he's probably a durable. Like, I'm not thinking all Lunarians are created equally, right?
Right.
But it's looking like that. It's looking like as a Lunarian, you have a base durability of this, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's like, what I was thinking is it just the Lunarian DNA, or is it like their own durability based because they were their creations? Like, I'm not sure how to look at it, but I think right now you got to kind of give King or Lunarians more credit.
Yeah, that's what I think it is. Lunarians deserve more credit for their DNA, how like the boost.
Yeah, but then they turn it off, so it's not.
Well, they turn it off if they need to turn it off. Like so far in this fight, they haven't turned it off clearly because they're the ones being attacked. But it's like King versus Zoro. When he wanted to speed blitz Zoro and get a hidden,
he had to turn it off.
He had to turn it off.
Yeah, so that's the thing. When you're going up against somebody that you can't land a hit on regularly, you're not going to be able to be in that durability phase.
Yeah, you're going to need the speed phase.
Yeah, and so for someone like Luffy, when he turns it up, if you can't hit Luffy and you got to speed up, then it
leaves yourself open.
Yeah. What's up, Sage?
Yo, I'm good. I've got quite a few theories and thoughts on this one, to be fair. So like one of the big things that I feel this arc has been like kind of portraying is like what defines humanity, like what defines when a person is dead, what defines when a person is alive. Because we have like the stuff with Kuma, we have the stuff with like Frankie. Like, Frankie himself is like mostly machine at this point. We've seen his face is machine, we've seen his legs are hollow, we've seen his arms are hollow. Like there's very little left of Frankie that exists as human. Like it's pretty much his spine and his brain at this point. Yeah. So like we already have the theme of like what defines humanity. And like Vegapunk himself starts to kind of talk about it when he goes through like the devil fruit stuff and when he goes through like the clone stuff. And like, here's my thing. What if the AI, like I know a lot of people talk about it, but what if this AI that like is essentially Punk Records, like it's part of him, right? It's his brain. So it's not just this like computer, it's actually a brain. So where do we draw the line between its humanity and like, a lot of people have been saying, what if Punk Records itself is the traitor? And people have been saying about like, I know you guys were talking earlier about like S Flamingo, and I've been thinking like there must be a failed Seraphim, right? There can't only be, perfect successes. Beings. And like Vegapunk's concept of success is incredibly like, it's a high bar, like he's a perfectionist. So the idea that like this Punk Records that has no body is working through one of the Seraphim itself and is creating holograms, which the Seraphim, maybe they can't tell that that's not a Vegapunk, because the holograms themselves like look realistic enough that it's fooled most of the Straw Hats. So like I'm in this mindset right now where I feel like, what if it's possible that this AI or this person has gained enough sentience to see that the experiments that Vegapunk's looking into, like with the poneglyphs, are gonna damage it. And like to evidence this point, when CP0 are coming in, they're not coming in to destroy the lab. They're not doing a buster call on this place. They're only killing the Vegapunks. So here's my thing, like what if this lab itself has enough consciousness that it's afraid for its own life? Like, so
it warned the government.
And the other thing is, how does well, yeah, but also how does it see the true Stella? Because it has the brain. Vegapunk only has the antenna. So what defines the Stella is the other problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Because even when we were first introduced to the arc, the whole holograms thing, it was like it's kind of beating it into our heads. Like there is no difference between what's real and what's not real.
Yeah,
as long as how you perceive it.
Yeah, and that concept of perception as well. Like, what is the Seraphim's perception of reality? Like, we know that they have a begrudging attitude to some of the orders they're given. We know that they're opportunists on what some of their orders can be. Like, they're developing their own personality, like you were saying earlier. Like, at what point do they become their own person with a soul? And if the failure is minor and it has its own soul, it's gonna want to protect itself, surely. Like,
yeah, I think there's a reason why the other Seraphims haven't been released, so that could go along with your idea of there being failed Seraphims, because it's like there has to be a reason you only let out 4 when potentially your whole island is at stake.
Yeah, And the other thing that seems weird to me is the containment cell that Vegapunk's in says P001, which is a code we've not seen before because the pacifists have a different code. So this is clearly a containment cell or area that was used for something else.
I thought it
Yeah,
was that it was
it's
made to make devil fruits, no?
Devil Fruit Laboratory.
Yeah.
Is that this chapter?
Yeah. This chapter before
Okay.
Shaka goes downstairs.
Okay, I'll just double check.
Yeah,
But do you see what I mean? Like,
I definitely like that
sorry.
idea with the because people have been talking about that with the AI being, somewhat trying to protect itself, but now using it through the failed Seraphim, I like that idea a lot. Where it's just at this point with the other Seraphim and them just trying to protect themselves, they're like, we got to do what we got to do. It's just tough with Vegapunk not having, like Zaki was saying, the failsafe or some way to shut down the failed Seraphim or dispose of them, right? Did he just have them sitting around or locked up, or did, like we were saying before, one of the Seraphim override their controls in some way? But no, I like that idea.
Or it could be like an Ultron situation, right? So the AI evolves past what was originally made.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. They only log in to the records once a day. So if the records is sealing... The other thing is there must be failed satellites too, right? Like, it can't just be Seraphim. So if there's failed satellites, we could even have one of the Vegapunks that they're talking about is a failed Vegapunk. It could even be that, like, this is actually like a mutiny and such of the bar being too high that Vegapunk set. And the other thing that I was thinking about was, like, the way that all of the Seraphim are attacking all of the Vegapunks. There's no differentiation. Like, this doesn't make sense for protect the Stellar Order unless the concept of Stellar has been warped.
I don't know if you guys have noticed, but like Oda has been like playing around with the ideas of AI a lot, like outside of the story, right? Like he
I did see that.
He gave an AI like in order to like create the next chapter, right? So it's like, I mean, that fascination does have to come from somewhere. So it wouldn't be the most surprising thing if the main culprit behind all this is AI.
He is a massive Terminator fan as well.
That's true. He is a Terminator.
Terminator, yeah.
So are you saying that Oda's breaking the fourth wall?
Maybe this is a message for the dangers of AI.
So does Vegapunk have a piece of the Gomu Gomu no Mi? Is he able to manipulate the fractures in reality?
What are you talking about? Gum doesn't do that, bro.
I mean, I don't think it's to do with the Gomu Gomu, but like the idea that Vegapunk essentially has a level of like control over what happens in the lab to a very high imaginative state. I think that is probably relevant.
So then would you say it's a reasonable assumption that Vegapunk could be the traitor?
I mean, no,
not intentionally.
Like, live the dream.
I don't think
Not on purpose.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's part of his plan to get
It could be
knocked upside the head, handcuffed, and thrown in a cell.
It could be evil Vegapunk with like a goatee instead of a mustache.
So the AI created a copy of the Stella?
Oh yeah, the AI could have created something.
But if Vegapunk has control over the entire field up to a certain degree, then wouldn't that mean that he's been in control of the entire situation in that particular field?
I think he thinks he's in control.
I thought he was.
Like, this is all Vegapunk's own fault. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like Sage was saying, he doesn't have his brain.
So he's not such a genius after all.
It doesn't make him any dumber, though.
He said it himself. I'm about to say he still has his brain. Like,
he just doesn't have the knowledge bank
physically.
Yeah,
he does have the
all
knowledge
the
bank.
experiences.
No, I think he does. He said, like, the way he said it is like the dome or whatever is a receiver to that little flower shit that's on his head or that apple.
Isn't the brain? He cut it off, right? So the brain is in the dome, and he has an antenna that's connected to the brain.
Yeah. So he still has all his memories and shit. Yeah, he still has all that.
My thing is like, can they manipulate like what's there, what he's receiving?
I'm not sure.
And if you remember,
I doubt it.
If you remember, Jinbei also had concerns about Punk Records as well when he mentioned it. So
Yeah,
it
he
could
did.
be-
He was the first one to bring it up.
But there
I
are
don't-
6 additional Vegapunks.
What you mean, Steve?
Yeah.
That means that either one of them could be responsible for the manipulation.
Well, I don't know if they have access to manipulate punk records like that.
But if the brain is split in segments, and the brain is connected through the stem in Vegapunk's head, and his head is 6 heads instead of 1.
So you
I don't think we have enough information for how that split works. Like it seems to me, at least, the satellites read more of a, these are my way of enacting parts of myself that I can't enact because I'm too busy. So like he's kind of like shot out the more human sides of himself so he can excel in a more logical and robotic way, which I think is another thing that's going to be part of why he has this downfall. And like one of the themes of the arc is like going back to that humanity sense. Like
I think it has to be something that Vegapunk did that's backfiring, because even when he talked about creating the energy source, it made me think about us how things were back then. Where like, were those people back then trying to do too much, where everybody had to come together to kind of shut it down because it was getting dangerous? And now we're kind of, this could possibly be us seeing the danger of what Vegapunk was doing. You know,
I mean, all of Vegapunk's creations have come with some sort of negative aspect or negative danger. For example, now the Seraphims are turning on him, right? The pacifistas, everything with Caesar is essentially his fault in a way for not
all kind of
realizing
blowing
what
up in his
Caesar was
face.
on. Yeah, things have blown up in his face before, so I wouldn't be surprised. But I was just like, damn, bro, like, can you be a little bit more competent?
but imagine if it was like back then, being like Vegapunk or people like Vegapunk were the norm.
Oh, you're talking about the
Yeah.
Ancient Kingdom?
Well,
The Ancient Kingdom.
Vegapunk's that guy that doesn't care about the consequences of progress. He's only interested in progress.
So
But
does that
obviously,
mean devil fruits wouldn't exist back in those days, Brago?
I think they existed, but I think
I think they
that
probably
people
did.
they were so advanced that having a devil fruit power didn't necessarily mean that you were a superpower, a superhero.
It might have just been a normal thing that everyone
Yeah.
had for like utility or whatnot.
Yeah,
Okay.
but like they had advanced to the point that they could contest like devil fruit powers. It wasn't like oh man, he has a low gear fruit, we can't stop him.
Right.
Do you believe that Vegapunk is evil?
No.
I feel like he's selfish.
No.
yeah, I think
think,
he's
yeah, he's
neutral and
just-
selfish.
Yeah, I think that's all it
And
is.
selfishness isn't evil?
No,
I think he can do bad things for the sake of progress, but
Has he
He
done
thinks
bad
it's a
things?
good
I don't
thing.
think it's
Progress?
necessarily bad things, but like even how he low key manipulated Kuma, right, with the memories.
yeah, I mean, yeah.
Did
Yeah,
he
that
manipulate it, or did Kuma volunteer for the sake of figuring out his own power?
Nah, it was.
It's
I
not
mean-
like he said. It's not like he was like, "Yo, like," he's like, "Yo, Kuma, you know, I know I've noticed you can manipulate pain, right? You can use pain
I
with your
mean,
devil
he
fruit.
did-
You can also do this with other synapses like memories."
Yeah, so
Right?
it's,
And,
Remember what
and
he-
he's like, "Go out." So you want to? He's like, "What? You want to look into my memories?" He's like, "Oh, that's too embarrassing." And then they did it anyways, obviously, because I think
well,
I don't think he's like, "All right, stay right there, Kuma." Well, it just started.
no,
taking his
it's
memories.
kind of like a thing where I'm making it seem like it's for the greater good, for the better, but I have my own things that I
Right.
want to do with it. I'm not going to tell you everything that I have planned with your memories.
well,
Yeah,
remember
but I
what he
don't
did.
think the
Remember what he
memories
did to
thing
Central
is-
Mars.
I think it was also like trying to figure out like can you push out someone's soul?
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's
Because he
for his
was-
own person.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
about Kuma. It's for him. It's for him and
Yeah.
his. You know what I'm saying? But it's like how he positions it. It's kind of Kuma. Kuma could feel like, you know what, like, guess I could.
And I think he was trying to test, like he wanted Kuma to test it on
Yeah.
himself. Yeah, I don't think he was trying to like help Kuma or make
No, not at
Kuma
all.
think he was. Yeah, I don't think even Kuma took it that way. I think he was just like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I think this is a cool power. Let's see if you can do it.
Yeah, but I don't think Vegapunk is necessarily evil. But I think this is the problem with like people
Science
like
in
Vegapunk,
general.
right?
Yeah.
Where it's just like it's all about progress. I don't care about the adverse effects or what could go wrong.
Well, his
Yeah, I
main
think
goal
he's
is
willing
his
to
main goal
manipulate.
is helping the world though. Because like
He thinks
the
it's
thing is-
helping the world, though.
right.
No, in general, because
Well, it's also similar to like Einstein.
He created the microwave thing, and he's mad that people around the world don't have access to it.
Well, yeah,
because
but
of the funds.
It's similar to Einstein, where his work led to nuclear weapons. So
where it's gonna be good, it's gonna be bad. Where for him, he's like, if I can help a lot of people, right, by creating these things that it can eat at any time, but like, what are you creating on the back end too by your, with the stuff that you got? Like, what could be the effects of that? And he's like, that doesn't matter.
There's unlimited energy source that you want to power countries with.
That's crazy.
Power a weapon with. Like, you gotta think about that.
Yeah, he doesn't care about that.
Someone else is gonna. Yeah, he doesn't think about that shit. He just thinks about how it's gonna help people, and he doesn't realize it could be used for nefarious things as well.
We're still talking about Vegapunk, right?
Yeah, Vegapunk.
Yeah.
So you don't think that makes him an evil man for him to be such a genius and have such a poor foresight?
I don't make you evil.
I don't think it's evil. Because it's not him doing it intentionally to like, he's
irresponsible.
Stebo, is Einstein evil?
Yes. Einstein is an evil man.
Why you said that, Steve?
I swear down.
Was an evil man.
Yeah, he said it like he was still bopping around.
Yeah.
It's
like he managed to transfer his brain to somebody else. He's still around right now.
Einstein created a weapon that has brought nothing but terror and destruction to the realities
it wasn't just him, though.
Of billions of children. Einstein is the greatest genius to ever exist. If it wasn't him, then who was it?
Well, that's people misusing his creation, though.
I don't want to. They wouldn't have been able to do it without Einstein.
Nuclear energy in itself isn't evil.
Right.
But harnessing it to harm billions of children is evil, and Einstein is responsible for that.
It's Oppenheimer that's responsible, though, isn't it?
You can argue that. You can argue that it is like it's evil.
Don't nobody know Oppenheimer.
No, we do. We do. He's getting a movie by
A lot of niggas know Oppenheimer. He's the nigga who made the nuke.
We gonna know Oppenheimer once the movie come out, but that's how America works. We don't know these niggas until they get the movies.
Oh my god!
I think it's more niche. I think it's more niche to credit Einstein with the nuclear bomb than it is to credit Oppenheimer. You know what I mean?
I think it's with the era we're in today. More people are finding out information, so I've been hearing more of Oppenheimer today than we did back in the day. People like are now starting to understand like who's been doing this shit.
That nigga Oppenheimer is smart as fuck.
Yeah, I say niche. I'm referring to a ghetto bitch from the south side of Chicago. What does niche mean to you?
Well, this a ghetto bitch from the south side of Chicago. Does she know that Einstein had a hand in creating the nuclear bomb?
Steve, what are you cooking, man?
I don't know what niche means.
I think he's meaning like the less likely options
for your background, Steve.
I don't believe Steve.
I'm sorry.
Just the energy coming out.
I don't believe Steve.
You don't believe that I don't.
I think Steve liked this chapter more than any of us.
I didn't read the chapter.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god. Of course you didn't.
I love it.
It's fine. You didn't miss
See,
anything.
like this is Vegapunk, right? Like Steve-O is Vegapunk in this situation. He's come in, and that's what he's doing. Like, regardless of how everyone else feels about it, and regardless of how that affects the stream, like this is what he wants to do, and that's Vegapunk. You know?
Does that make Steve evil?
Steve is an evil man.
I don't know. Do you remember that? No,
Jesus.
But like,
I think
have I been committing evil for years now?
It might be.
Maybe.
But I think evil goes back to being immoral, right? And I mean, you can argue Vegapunk is immoral.
Does evil require intent?
You know what he won?
Not necessarily.
You know what he won the Nobel Peace Prize for? Was
Wait, how do you mean not necessarily?
Vegapunk?
Yeah, Vegapunk. You know what he won the Nobel Peace Prize for? Weapon that turns gunpowder into flowers, so two countries can't fight each other anymore.
Because I guess J-Hut, like if you go back to morality and like the standards of accepting or what people consider evil or good, right? Would the majority think of the effects of creating something like that if they had the intelligence that Vegapunk has? Like if you were creating things, right? Would you at least think about the effects of the things that you're creating?
Yeah, I think what's blocked is the effects, the good effects. For him, he's thinking of all the good effects that outweigh the possible bad or the uses for bad. He's not even thinking about like the uses for bad to.
But he's like just going against like what the general consensus would deem moral, right?
Yeah.
So you can argue it, I think.
Well, sorta. He hasn't really done. Vegapunk hasn't done anything. Well, he has with the pacifists and stuff, but other creations.
Remember, in the cover story, he created the tanks, right? That fired flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not evil though. That's disarming two countries.
No, because if gunpowder can be turned to flowers, then that must mean the flowers can be turned to gunpowder. And all it takes is one guy who's slightly brilliant who could be able to reverse those effects. Engineer it.
Yeah.
But then you would just get the thing that people already had. It's not like he's creating more evil.
Well, no,
that's somebody going out of their way to
something markedly good when it could be made into something that is markedly evil.
Okay, look, the fact that it blew away Caesar, Judge, and Queen, right, means no regular Joshua was like, all right, let me just come back and turn this back to gunpowder.
I think it just means maybe these niggas ain't as smart as we thought it was. That's what I think it means.
That's probably true too.
I just think he's just on a different level of intelligence.
But I think he's on a different level because it's not about necessarily intent, right? Like it's not about the only agenda he has is progression.
Exactly.
Where Judge has his own thing he wants. Queen has his own thing. Caesar, where for him it's like I don't care anything else but like making dope shit.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. He's also got the information from the Void history. You know. Like he's got. We don't know what technology was back there.
Here's the tough part. We say he's like dope things that help people, right? But it's like how he thinks it can help people.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know? Okay. Solving world hunger and climate change. Solving world hunger and climate change is pretty good.
Here's the thing. If you say he's solving climate change, right? Say in the One Piece world, you affect the climate of a specific area in one way. How does it affect the world?
It doesn't.
I guess it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because it only affects the island. It's not like all these places are connected environmentally. Like the environment's already fucked up, making it hard to travel, right? Especially in the New World.
No, but here's the thing:
if he normalizes climate in the New World, then it makes it safer for a lot of people.
For this climate thing that you create, right? And say you have it on every different island, right? That means that if somebody gets control of that machine, they could affect the climate in every island if they want to.
Yeah, but it's probably. I don't think he'd be like, here's a climate machine that can change the climate to whatever. He's probably like, hey, look, your island's fucked up with the weather. Let me take this climate machine and just make it sunny and normal.
You think it's just going to be rainy? Is that going to be the only options on it? You think? No shot.
I think it's just no shot. I think it's just normalized climate. So somebody's going to reverse engineer and be like, all right, now it's about to be raining lightning.
I think for him and his standard. His standard, right?
Yeah.
He would have it where you can basically create lightning.
I mean,
You can create magma from this climate machine. Just whatever you want, because it's like that's what it's meant for. So you can change anything as drastic as you want it to be.
If Vegapunk's researching the ancient kingdom's history and like its technology, probably foremost, and he's looking into climate control, do you think that means that, which is essentially terraforming? Do you think that means that the ancient kingdom were capable of terraforming themselves and they terraformed to the moon, but then they ran out of resources and they couldn't do it anymore?
I think.
I think they did.
Okay.
I think they did for sure run out of resources. I think they tried to do what Vegapunk is doing now.
No, because he just came up with these things, and this is after he has the Void Century information. It's probably. You can probably say that this is from the Void Century because he calls. Last time Bonnie said, "Hey, I've been to Egghead. It wasn't this futuristic before, right?" So it seems like he made it. He made it futuristic by using Void Century information, which is essentially just.
Well, this is because he tried to do. I think it was Baltigo or something, wasn't it, or Baltimore? Baltimore, I think, is his old lab.
Yeah, Baltimore.
And like he tried to change. Yeah, he tried to change the weather of that country, but he couldn't. He failed, and he had to give up. So the fact that after being able to access the Void Century technology, he's now able to climate change and terraform, essentially, like that raises questions for me about what they were doing, especially when you consider the red line.
I think they definitely were doing shady shit, right? And I think the fact that they had ancient weapons and shit like that, they needed something to power it, right? And that's why I don't think it's all bad on the people who took over or came in, the kings.
For 20 other nations to turn against you, there had to be something there to spin against you.
Yeah.
If it's all right with you, can I like read off a panel in a sec?
Yeah.
Kind of related to this stuff. Cool. It's basically in Skypia, and it's Garmful, and it's when Garmful is thinking about what's happened between them and the Shandorians, and it's a flashback to when Enel takes control. And I can't find the panel. Now I'm thinking of it. I need to find it. But basically, the gist of it, he says, is like, are we the evil ones? You know, we've kept these people from their ancestral land, and we've done that for 400 years because it was in our interest. It helped us prosper. It helped us succeed. But really, is it too late for us to admit that this was wrong? And like at the end of this flashback, Enel takes over. Garmful is dethroned as Kami. Neither of them have wings, which is really interesting to me. Both the gods in One Piece and the sky are wingless, so that could be its own culture too. But the gist of it is he throws Garmful into the sea, and I just feel like a lot of what we see in One Piece is like micro reenactments of things that have happened before. Yeah. We get that between pre-skip and post-skip, but we seem to get that in the Void Century too. And that concept of the last poneglyph that's written, like one of them has to be the last, right? And we have an obvious candidate to me, which is the promise to Poseidon, because that's an odd poneglyph, and Robin even denotes this is strange. Well, if Imu, if that's who's around, or the 20 Kings push Joy Boy, who's actually not who we thought he initially was, you know, if they push him off the edge of the red line and he falls to the sea, to Fishman Island, and he writes this poneglyph as an apology because he's failed and he's going to die, like that kind of narratively mirrors what's happening with Garmful. I don't know, it was cool. It was cool imagery.
Yeah, I think, like you said, One Piece is about sometimes things happening again, history repeating itself, and in this way, going back to, you know, the things that Gorosei are doing, and I think now we look at it like, yeah, they're evil, right? Them getting rid of O'Hara and trying to withhold information from the people. But what if they understand the downside of information? Too much of it, you know?
Yeah.
And
it makes sense because they were wary. Like when Spandam confronted the Gorosei saying, hey, we need Pluton because Robin exists and we need a countermeasure. We need the blueprints for Pluton because Robin exists and she could bring Pluton back. Even though they were presented with that idea, they were still wary about it, which is like, it shows you the world government doesn't actually want the ancient weapons. It's like they want
to be prepared just in case.
Yeah. Even though they can get their hands on the blueprints, Saturn in that panel, he's like, I don't know about this. And they're like, yeah, maybe you just bring us the blueprints and we'll keep it.
I think the problem with the world government is that they kind of seems like they got high on power, where they start going into kind of preservation mode, where whatever or whomever that goes against us, we have to just eradicate. And then at that point, because of what could come from it, does that make them bad? Like, what if the world was on the brink of being destroyed based on the ancient kingdom and the things they were creating? Based on what they're doing now, does that make them evil?
I think the Gorosei, they don't come off as evil, because even in their meeting with Clover over the Denden Mushi, it's like they're like, it's not that they were going to, they're like, obviously they wanted to stop the researchers, right? But it's like, you don't put your hand in your face and say like regrettably, like, we have to destroy the island if you're not evil.
I've always thought about that. Like, reading that panel, it made me think about the Gorosei differently.
Because the characters we have seen that are evil, like Kaido, Doflamingo, when they destroy towns or islands or anything, they don't feel anything about it.
Right.
They don't feel any remorse about it.
Yeah, it's almost like they have to protect the people or something.
Exactly. But maybe that's a lie that's told to them.
Yeah, that could be the case. I've always thought that it's like Oda's done a good job of making it so it's not so black and white in terms of what's good and what's evil in One Piece,
right?
And what the people on different sides represent exactly, because it's always something going on behind the scenes that we're not exactly privy to. Just like you said with the Gorosei, we don't exactly know why they reacted the way that they did, having to destroy Ohara, but there's clearly something that makes them feel like whatever they're doing is just. And as we see, the Marines actually do keep order and peace in the world of One Piece for the most part.
Yeah, I think sometimes.
Sorry.
No, go ahead, Sage. What are you saying?
I was just going to say the other thing you have to question is To Kill a Wolf. So like they're building this massive intercontinental bridge, and like that's not for the government themselves, surely. Like, although it is currently enslaving the people, like there must be a legitimate reason why they're concerned and want an aqueduct system of bridge coming across the continents. And to me, like, it's almost like it's a safety net for the potential of the Red Line falling and these prophecies coming true. You know what I mean? Like, they're trying to upkeep a failing system. Like you're saying, like they started off as, you know, taking over from a system that was dangerous potentially, or at least that was failing most of the people of the world, and then they become worse than the system maybe, or as bad as the system itself. But like one of the things that I find really interesting is like the themes of arcs in One Piece, because like we have a gap in the Tontata records where there's no records for 100 years of the Void Century, and we have like Alabasta, which is elevated above, like the Palace of Alabana is like notably elevated above. We have the themes with like Water 7 and the Aqua Laguna, and like we have this massive bridge, right? And like to me it feels like flood prevention. It feels like an arc, a stone arc of such, like where people are able to live and travel across. Like it just, there seems to be this ongoing theme with like conservation and protection that's going horribly wrong and preserving the wrong things.
That's a good point, because even Zoe elevated, Wano elevated, like
you know, like there's this massive concept of protecting from water, and like here's the thing: what if the reason there's this gap in the records is like Noah, the theme of the Noah? At some point, the government takes everyone onto the Red Line because there's this massive flood. And like, you know, what if that's to do with the moon itself? What if the moon itself was a weapon and it was used to change the shift of the tides? And because it had that access and that capacity, it was able to flood all of these different places. You know, like it's able to completely wipe out islands. And like, my question is, who controls the moon? Is that God? Is that Kami? Because we have these like themes of God and Kami in Skypiea, and like, why do they call it that? And God controls celestial bodies. Who are the celestial beings? They're God. You know, who are the ones under them? The celestial dragons. And they're always wearing spacesuits, which is, you know, kind of a hint as well to me, at least.
Right.
Yeah, but then it begs the question: why aren't the Gorosei ever wearing spacesuits? I think the spacesuit thing is more of a false belief, because the people that know the most out of the celestial dragons don't feel the need to breathe different air. They don't feel the need to cover their bodies from, you know.
I actually feel like that's kind of evidence in and of itself, though, surely, because like it's almost like the celestial dragons are relying on a false promise that's never going to be achieved, whereas the Gorosei are aware of that and they're just trying to maintain the status quo.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, I think all this with Vegapunk is kind of opening our eyes to everything may not be what they seem. I think we always felt that, right? Like Steve said, Oda's done a good job of kind of manipulating how you view the world, good and bad. And I think it's going to continue. It's going to be a realization of, oh, fuck, like what Rayleigh said, that you're going to make a decision. Because say they get to it and they get to the point where they're taking down the Gorosei, then it's like, wait, are we... should we remove them from controlling everything? Do we want all this information to be available to the world? Can the world handle like knowing everything that happened?
Yeah, they did say that hopefully you reach a different conclusion than we did.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, so that must mean there's some kind of neutrality, or at least like a contrast. There's not just good.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's interpretive to whoever finds it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it has something to do with Luffy and Roger's dream.
Man, that's crazy because
I
I
think it
never
would
even
tie
thought
into
about
their
what
dream.
that would mean for guys like Rayleigh and Crocus. Because if it was something that detrimental and devastating to the world, and they let it continue on, and he said, "I hope y'all make a different conclusion." So does that mean they living with some incredible demons right now?
They have to be. They learn the whole history of the world. They learn the whole truth, and they not only that, but it's possible they, even though they reached a conclusion, they couldn't do anything about the conclusion they reached anyways, because like Roger said, they were too early.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
If
they
the One
weren't,
Piece has something to do with them being too early, and it's about the Mermaid Princess's birth, then it means that you probably need all the ancient weapons to make whatever decision you need to make.
But it's interesting because even if they weren't too early, like, was Roger in a physical condition to do anything about it?
Yeah, continue on.
Yeah.
It may have been a decision where he had to, give out another few years of his life to actually follow through with it.
You know what I mean?
Did we ever see Whitebeard's reaction when Roger told him about the what he saw in Rough Tail?
No, we didn't see his reaction.
I think the only thing we've seen was him telling him about the Will of D, right?
No, but by telling him about the Will of D, you would have to tell him everything.
Yeah.
Which is why he knows that there will be a great war at the end.
But I wonder if we get some more depth with Whitebeard. Like, did they tell us about things Whitebeard was doing to somewhat prevent things, or did Whitebeard just kind of go into his own shell or cocoon? It's like, I'm just preserving my family. I don't really give a fuck by all that shit.
I don't know. It may tie into him taking Ace under his wing if he genuinely believed he was the next, Joy.
Yeah.
But like, even with that means that we believe Squad.
That what?
That Whitebeard was trying to make Ace the Pirate King.
Yeah, that's what
I think he had it in the back of his mind, but in current time, he's more focused on having a family.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit of both because we knew he didn't want to be the Pirate King himself. So I think he was definitely taking Ace under his wing for that.
Because he hasn't shown anything in story that supports the idea that he had plans for Ace,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we would find out though.
Unless we get a Whitebeard novel.
A light novel.
A light novel.
I mean, we get more Whitebeard information the more time goes on. Like the fact that Whitebeard knew about the Lunarians before when they seemed like myths, right?
Yeah, even that. Like, he was sitting on information. Like if Roger did tell him everything, he's sitting on so much information.
But he wasn't really doing anything about it. Is that
right?
Well,
maybe he knew that he couldn't. It wasn't time.
Maybe.
Or that it wasn't important to a man that's that old and all he wants is a family.
Maybe he's like, it's going to be important to the next generation, so I got to help craft it.
I mean, that's why I guess he has him and Shanks. They somewhat have a moral compass where it's like, don't pick the sprouts before they bloom. You know what I mean? Because we don't know who it could be. Rayleigh kind of feels the same way because it's like, Shanks made his bet on Luffy, but maybe they know someone's gonna come, like someone's gonna be the person, and you never know who it could be. But maybe the guy that says the same thing as my character.
Shanks made his bet on Luffy, but he also says he wants to claim the One Piece.
I think he's hoping Luffy beats him to it.
Because think about it, right?
Jumpstart
there is something there. Because think about it, we know for a fact that Luffy told Shanks his dream, and then he went to go get the devil fruit. Because when Luffy tells Shanks his dream, he says, "Oh, he was laughing and crying," right? But in the flashback, when he's getting the devil fruit, he still had the straw hat on.
Yeah.
And the next time he has the fruit is when it's chapter 1. So maybe hearing Luffy's dream is what made him go after the devil fruit.
That was in the most recent flashback? Because that could just be a mistake.
What?
When you say he was wearing the straw hat in the flashback, was that the most recent flashback that we got in
Wano? You said when he went after Who's Who?
Yeah, when he went after Who's Who, because he you guys, it's like we've seen everything that happens in chapter 1. There's not a moment where he's like, "Hey Shanks, this is my dream," right? We know he was invested in coming back to see Luffy, right? And we know that he had the devil fruit when he came back to see Luffy. But we know he had been there plenty of times beforehand. So it's like, at what point did he hear Luffy's dream? And at what point did he then decide to go get the Gomu Gomu no Mi? Because you don't just go and steal a devil fruit that's on a government ship if you don't know what it is.
No, he definitely knew.
Did he know the ramifications of the fruit, though?
Well, he might not have known the whole thing. He might not. He might have just known the concept.
Or maybe he knew that it was a fruit that was being hidden, and he's like, they're hiding it for a reason, so I want it.
No, well, even who's like, why the hell are they attacking us? It's just a devil fruit, you know?
Right. But Shanks had to know more than just surface level. It's just a devil fruit, right?
Yes, because it is a devil fruit, and he has a crew with no devil fruit users.
Right. So it's like he's not going after devil fruits for
fruits. Yeah.
Yeah, so he must have known something.
He knows something.
He might have just known that the Gomu Gomu was essential. Like that's.
I mean, it goes back to it. Like, do we think Shanks knows the history of the world?
Right.
I don't think he does. I mean,
I don't see why not though. Like, because if he's not, like, his goal is not the One Piece. We know that. Like, that's not what he wants, right?
Well, he says he's going to claim the One Piece.
He says he's going to claim it, but he's
just worried that Luffy won't get there in time.
I think it's almost. I think it's like a test for Luffy. I don't think he really wants the One Piece.
Yeah, like I feel like he said to Luffy, "You need to surpass me."
Yeah.
So now he's like, "Right, the time is right. Let's race."
Now I'm going to actively compete against you.
Yeah, but he never told Luffy, "You need to surpass me." Luffy came up with the idea himself. He says, "I'm gonna find a crew. I'm going to have a crew that's better than yours." It's like, "Oh, you think you can surpass us?" He's like, "Okay, then return the hat to me." Right?
But
it's not like he put the idea in Luffy's head, "Go become a pirate that surpasses me."
But here's the thing. I think he's met Rayleigh at least once, we know.
Yeah. And he said Luffy's just like Roger.
Do they talk about like everything that they found out then, since Shanks didn't go?
I think, okay, when we see Shanks after like Buggy gets sick, and he's like, "It's all right, I'll go see it for myself one day," implying basically like, it's almost like, "Yo, don't spoil me. Like, I'm gonna go see it myself."
Shanks
so it's like, how would he already know then?
Is this before or after Roger told him that thing? That's before, right?
Well, that's before. That's before. It's like, you think they had that long of a conversation where it's like,
I think Shanks has obviously changed and evolved over time. Where like what he wants, like it's clear that Shanks is not actively after the One Piece.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's not his goal.
He could have had it at this point.
I disagree with that. I mean, to get it, you would have to defeat the other Yonko and take the poneglyph.
I mean,
yeah, but
could he have had the One Piece by now? Probably. It would be too much of a. It would be too much, I think.
You know what would happen if he went after one Yonko? If he went after one Yonko, win or lose, the other Yonkos would just jump on him.
They would open it
up.
up.
The other Yonkos would literally just jump on him.
We saw how Kaido was about to go to Marineford, right? And so it's just like...
The Yonkos always take advantage whenever one of them is in a vulnerable place.
I don't know if Big Mom would move, right? I don't think Big Mom would move. I think she was kind of content and comfortable. But I don't think Big Mom would make a move unless she was sure that it was them assured victory for the most part.
Yeah.
Where Kaido, I don't think Kaido cared.
Yeah, I don't know if Shanks would need to defeat all the Yonko. I feel like he could use some sneaky methods to get the poneglyphs.
Well, I don't think the poneglyphs that he could easily get would be Zoe.
Yeah. He could probably get Big Mom.
What I would say is like this, for starters, the first thing I'd say is at the bare minimum, I feel like we can agree Shanks knew that they were too early. Like Shanks has an idea of the prophecy of the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he also knows at some point, like we're having a very noble view of Shanks by assuming that he's going to directly go into the Yonko territory and fight them himself, rather than see what happens in the Scrabble for One Piece, which he knows is coming up and roughly when it's coming up. Like he says about, oh, well, hand over your poneglyph rubbings and anything you've got about Kid. So like to me, that kind of insinuates that Shanks has no real like plan to directly go after the original poneglyphs, but because he's so acutely aware that they exist and how important they are and which ones he needs, he's just like, I'm just gonna go for the Scrabble because like I can take my pick of some of these younger people that may have formed alliances like they did to take down Kaido, and then just blast him away. Like,
it's what
it's a
Blackbeard's doing
noble
right now.
concept.
I think
exactly
that's
like
what Shanks and
Blackbeard.
Blackbeard are
Exactly
doing.
like Blackbeard. Yeah.
Or what about like with Shanks in his mind, right? We don't want to pluck them before they bloom. If you haven't bloomed after fighting a Yonko, then bro, it's not your time. Like,
He said you ain't blooming.
you just say, you know what I'm saying? You're not that guy.
But
it could be a
it's more
test.
like it's more like he's not. It's not exactly the same as Blackbeard because he's not actively like waiting on the island where they will most likely be. He was actually planning on
he's gonna leave
further
early.
ahead.
He's gonna leave
Exactly.
early. Yeah.
But Kid pulled up to him, so it's like, okay, now that you're here, I need those poneglyphs.
And he's like, it's my lucky day.
But it leads me to think like, then what? How is Shanks going to interpret these road poneglyphs?
That's the tough part when we talk about interpreting the road poneglyphs. Like,
because
how is it just
because
Robin?
Blackbeard has a plan, right?
Pudding.
Exactly, right. But Shanks doesn't. Well, I mean, as far as we know, like,
I mean, but that's the thing. It's like if it's not really his goal, it's just like it's just fluff, you know.
Well, the poneglyphs are to tell you where Laughtail is, and he already knows.
how does he know where Laughtail is?
I mean, he was like on the ship.
Yeah, he's on the ship. Though, right?
Yeah, but it's not like they were right outside Laughtail. They're, all right, do you know what they said? They said, all right, we got the rope poneglyphs, let's go to Laughtail.
Well, he said me and Bug, you're staying on the ship, and then they went off walking, right?
Yeah.
No, they were dropped off. No, they were dropped off on another island.
Oh, you're saying they were dropped off?
Yeah, because we see them on the island. It was like just like a regular looking town, and then like, hey, we'll meet you guys back here, but in the future, I'll go there myself one day.
But the thing is, like, you think before then they were discussing like where Laughtail is on the ship?
I feel like I don't know.
Well, if that was the case, he wouldn't need any road poneglyphs in the first place.
That's what I'm saying. It's just fluff. It's not really that he needs them. It's just like, all right, I'm just gonna take him from the people I don't deem worthy, I guess.
Yeah.
Like see if he can stop.
I think it has to be a little bit. I think it has to have a little bit more substance to that because it's when he says, "Isn't it about time we claim the One Piece?" It's like they always knew that this would come one day. The Shanks pirates.
But think about it though, Zaki. If like say Kid, right? Kid just came from beating Kaido and Big Mom. It's like, does it make sense for Shanks as a pirate to not ask for the poneglyphs at that point? It's kind of like, all right, this is what I gotta do. So just leave your poneglyphs and go.
But that implies that he needs them.
Not really. I think it's just a
Or is
front.
it a barrier for
Who
Kid?
has them?
Yeah. Because it's like, because we know that's not his goal, right? We know his goal is not to find the One Piece. So him asking for things he's not going to actively use.
But how do we know that's not his goal?
Because he would have been gone after them.
No, but the other Yonkos, that was their goal, and they couldn't. They were in a deadlock because neither of them wanted to take the risk of going to all-out war for the One Piece just yet.
Okay, what about when he had Kaido dead to rights with his entire crew?
Let's say he has Kaido dead to rights. He would still need to fight the other Yonko for that.
No,
or not the other Yonko. He'd have to fight Big Mom.
No, not at all. Because say he has Kaido going to Marineford, right? Him and his crew beat Kaido and King. They can go back to Wano and claim everything there.
Yeah, but then it's also like he needed to go to Marineford also to stop that. It's not like he's like, okay, I'm gonna quickly take care of Kaido and King, and then I'm gonna have time to end the war in Marineford.
But I'm saying, like, if your goal is the One Piece, you don't care about the war in Marineford.
No, because, well, if you can do both. You can have your goal being the One Piece and also have the goal of I don't want these people to kill each other.
Why?
Because Shanks that's his character. He's the great balancer of the world.
But I think like it's not about him. Like I think those are separate things, right? With him claiming the One Piece and balancing the world, I think he's more like balancing the world as far as like he doesn't really care about the One Piece.
Yeah, but I think with all the new information, like for me, I used to agree with that concept. Shanks doesn't care about the One Piece, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many mysteries surrounding him now that I can't even say that I can keep my headcanon of Shanks the same way because now we've seen him meet with the Gorosei. Now we've seen him say that he wants to claim the One Piece. Now we know he was born on God Valley, or not born on God Valley, but he was there, right? So you have all these mysteries surrounding this character. I don't think it can be as simple as I'm just the gatekeeper of the One Piece. Because he's added so much depth after the fact.
I think he's partially a gatekeeper, but I think he's also a test. Like him going, like for me, him going after the One Piece now is him testing Luffy now. Like they're gonna actively have to clash, and obviously it's not gonna be in a super serious way. But I think Shanks is gonna test Luffy's mettle.
Yeah, but he didn't really know. He didn't really know Luffy for as long as he was a pirate. He had to have a goal as a pirate, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like Luffy is relatively new in his life, right? I can't believe that he's just been waiting for this one person just to test him, and that's all he is as a pirate.
Say no, but that's goals can change over time, right? I think maybe his goal was to claim the One Piece or be the next Roger at one point, right? But then he met Luffy, and he's like, "Damn, this guy is more like my captain than I am." Right? That's something he cares about. And then at that point, your goals and intentions change. Like it's like at this point, it's really hard for me to believe that Shanks really cares about the One Piece like that.
Okay, but my point is, Kaido, Big Mom, they care about finding the One Piece, right?
Yes.
But at the end of the day, for 6 years, they were in a deadlock and didn't really do shit but amass their strength, right?
Yeah. But it seemed like Shanks was actively keeping everyone from that last thing. Like he's like, okay, I'm becoming young. I do everything in my power. I'm one of those guys now, right? And every time these guys in position to get a one up on the other, I'm gonna stop it. Like like it's almost like he's buying time, where he's just waiting.
How would have Shanks have stopped Big Mom from the Elbaf thing? Well, because I think in Big Mom's mind, that's her key to winning.
Okay,
he didn't stop her from doing that.
Say at that point, how long ago was that? The Elbaf thing? Do we know?
Well, however, we know it had to be like, okay, let me search Lola's age.
But
right?
if it's the Elbaf thing,
it can't have been that long ago, because Lola had to be old enough to marry somebody.
If it is the Elbaf thing, right? And Shanks gets wind that Big Mom and Elbaf they're about to ally, maybe he intercepts some of the niggas on Elbaf.
Yeah, but okay, if Kaido wins on Wano, how does he then stop Kaido and Big Mom from going after the One Piece?
I mean, but that's the thing. Does he ally with another Yonko? With somebody else? I mean, but the things are kind of played out in a way where it's like everything he's done, or maybe like for instance, where he went to the world government and he told them about a certain thing. What if he allies with the world government to take down a Yonko?
I don't know if he'd go that far. I think Shanks does have his own ambitions, because to be the Conqueror's Haki guy, you have to be somewhat ambitious. You can't just be the test. You know what I'm saying?
I think he wants to fulfill his captain's will, right? Where it's just like I want to make things at least fair when it's Luffy's time.
But why couldn't it be him? Why can't he fulfill his captain's will by claiming the One Piece?
I think that's the question. I think there's always the possibility he had the intention to. There's always the possibility. Well, what if, just putting it out there, what if, because we hear the concept of like zone fruits having a will and having a draw to the people that they view worthy kind of thing, like, what if, and this one's the one of a god, like the Gorosei say, so like it's kind of doing its own thing a teeny bit compared to most inanimate objects. Like, hear me out. What if there was no intention of Luffy having that fruit? What if like Shanks is there just showing off to like Makima, whatever? Look, devil fruits are real, because that's what the themes of the story was back then. And then all of a sudden, Luffy ends up eating it, and the whole plan has to change. Like, we don't actually know what Shanks' original goal was. Like, that's true. But to me, I think the only thing that we can truly guarantee is that he does want to go to Laugh-Tale, and he does want to test Luffy and make sure that he is going to be correct. Because every time we see Shanks in these mini kind of viewing the newspaper scenes, he's measuring Luffy. He's not just like, oh, wow, Luffy, look at you go. He's always like, oh, not yet, my young one. Like,
Maybe it could be possible that Shanks believes that to be the guy that Roger needed to be, he needs to also beat someone who is the closest thing to Roger. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because he is waiting for Luffy. He says, "Oh my God, it's almost time for us to meet." When he's reading the newspaper, right?
Yeah.
And then
because if Shanks can beat Luffy, or if Shanks can overwhelm Luffy, then at that point it's kind of like, you're not the person I expected you to be. You're not the guy of prophecy that they say you are. So I think he has to push Luffy himself.
But how? Okay, so this is assuming he knows everything about the prophecy.
I think he knows. I think.
Yeah. So after they went to Laughtail, they explained everything to Shanks.
I think they explained enough.
I think I think they told him enough, and then really probably told him the final bits of it. When he was older. Because again, it's Shanks' decision. There would be so much different if he really cared about the One Piece.
Like what?
Like say, why stop Marineford? Why stop Kaido?
I think he also cares about.
If you know Kaido's on the way to Marineford, like Wano is vulnerable.
Yeah, I understand that, but it's like you can't also. His goals of stopping Marineford was for a reason that's like, I don't want this to happen. I don't want the Whitebeard pirates to be decimated. I don't want Luffy to die, right? Because he knows these things, right?
But why does that matter if he's after One Piece himself, truly?
Because at the end of the day, he is still a person who is somewhat morally good. It's the same reason why it's like.
Is that his responsibility if Whitebeard dies?
If Luffy dies, it's his responsibility.
Do you think he made a move after he knew Luffy was at Marineford?
For example, why did he stop Green Bull?
I would personally say that part of the reason he stopped Green Bull and part of the reason he might have been there in the first place.
That's happenstance. Like he just happened to be there.
No, I think he might have been. There's a possibility he was going after the poneglyphs. Like there's a possibility he was, and that when he came there, he saw that Luffy and co were there. He saw that they'd managed to win, and when he saw an admiral coming up to take them down while they were on like recovery time, he was like, "Nah, not right now. They've done well."
Yeah.
Would he know that Luffy was in Wano?
But when he's thinking about who he's saving, he's also thinking about Momonosuke, and his because that's what I'm saying. He is a morally good person. He went there with the mindset of Momonosuke and them just came out from a battle where they had their lives on the line. I don't want you to hurt them. He's thinking about Luffy. He's thinking about the time he spent with Luffy. He's thinking about the time he spent with Momonosuke and Toki, and he's saying like, I want to protect them.
But my thing is Shanks going to Wano, right? Because I mean, it depends on where he was, but him being that close to Wano, because word did go out that Kaido lost, right? Kaido and Big Mom lost.
Yeah. This is 7 days after.
This is 7 days after. So Shanks went after he found out that they lost.
Yeah.
So he would not have gone if Kaido would have won.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's possible he
it's like it's not
Kaido would have won.
You think so?
Yes, because it's like if he knows Kaido would have won, then at the same time, I think him and Blackbeard would have pulled up.
If Kaido won?
Yes, because they would still be at a disadvantage. They would still be recovering, right? And this is the only time the deadlock has ever been.
But if Kaido and Big Mom, say Kaido and Big Mom won, right? That means you have Kaido and Big Mom versus Shanks versus Blackbeard.
I think it would turn. I think it would turn into hell because they wouldn't just allow. Okay. Let's say they win, right? Now Big Mom and Kaido have an alliance,
right?
And they're also looking the most likely. You just don't wait for them to recover.
But Shanks by himself, is he beating Big Mom and Kaido that has to recover?
I don't think he's beating them, but I don't think that's important at that point because if you do let them recover, then it's the end of everything.
But my thing is like if they win, does Shanks have the capacity by himself to take them down? That's the thing.
No, but you'd also have to calculate that Blackbeard would also pull up.
But
right?
Blackbeard would not necessarily team up with Shanks. Blackbeard would be going after Shanks as well.
I understand, but
I feel like we're getting into what if territory that's not just based on one or two what ifs. It's
like a lot.
It is a lot of what ifs, yeah. But at the end of the day, we have what we have. Shanks pulled up 7 days later after he realizes that Luffy won.
7 days after they win. That means that Big Mom and Kaido, they've had 7 days to recover.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about because I'm not talking about the what if scenario anymore.
Okay.
What we have here is that Shanks pulls up to Wano after Luffy wins, but it's not to get the road poneglyphs off Luffy or anything. It's not to. At the end of the day, he pulls up to protect them, right? Because he probably knows, because he's not stupid. After 2 Yonkos are taken out, there's going to be a power vacuum, right? There's going to be people coming to third party, right? And that's why he protects Momonosuke, he protects all of them from Green Bull. But at the end of the day, he is still going after road poneglyphs. He's like, because when Kid pulls up, he's like, man, I don't know if this is bad luck or good luck, implying that there could be a good reason for Kid being here, which is, we find out at the end of the chapter, the road poneglyphs. I don't see him taking the road poneglyphs just because, like, you're not worthy.
Well, like, if I'm truly honest about where I see the Kid situation going, like, if we put to bed like what Shanks' motives are, and we look at like the actual plot that's conceivably in the future, to me, the ultimatum that Shanks gives to Kid relates to the concept of him giving Luffy an ultimatum at some stage and kind of seeing what kind of pirate he's become. And I feel like Kid is a really useful tool to do that via. Like Oda said, there will be significance with Kid, and Law was more significant than he expected compared to Kid, and we've not really seen Kid do much. So I feel like there must be some kind of significance to his character and what happens in the future. And I feel like if it involves Shanks and it involves testing Luffy, is the type of character, like, what has he become? Has he become a great pirate? Has he, like, become the kind of pirate that Roger would be? Has he become the kind of pirate that Joy Boy would be? And, like, you know, I feel like Kid is a vehicle for that.
It's so wild because Shanks had an opportunity after all that to see Luffy.
He did.
And he said, I'm not interested in seeing Luffy right now. So I'm like, does he still feel like Luffy isn't ready? Or like...
I wouldn't know I wouldn't know how to say that, but it's also the fact that Luffy is now the closest person, even
we
more
also
than
have
Shanks
to
and more than
consider
Blackbeard, to being the Pirate King.
That Shanks is an absentee father.
Lord.
What you mean?
Meaning that he is familiar with the concept of not meeting the expectations.
I need more.
Yeah, there's a context I'm missing.
We know that he has a daughter that he refuses to see. So understanding that, it would make sense why he doesn't go the extra mile when it comes to seeing Luffy. Every time it comes a situation where it's like, hey, you don't want to say hey to Luffy? It's like, no, I ain't ready yet. He ain't never gonna be ready.
It's not that he wasn't ready. He's saying we have other things to do.
I don't know about all that, man.
Yasop is the one that said he wasn't ready.
You remember Marine
He's still getting his cigarettes, man.
But didn't Shanks say, I'm not interested in seeing Luffy yet?
Yeah, man.
He said no. He said we have other things going on.
I don't even want to see his own daughter. Of course.
But wasn't the thing to take down Bartolomeo?
Yeah.
Who was doing things in the name of Luffy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So wouldn't it make more sense to go talk to the guy that, like, he's doing things in the name of, like, yo,
I'm pretty sure he knows Luffy isn't aware of these things. Like, well, what does he get out of talking to, hey, Bartolomeo's father?
Your man's going crazy, but that's on him.
Yep. Huh? It's not on him, because in Luffy's mind, he's like, I don't really care. They're free to do whatever they want.
So you think if somebody does something in another Yonko's name, I'm not gonna look at another Yonko like, get your man?
Luffy's not other Yonko though, and Shanks knows that.
What you mean?
Shanks knows the only way he's getting any ending to what Bartolomeo's doing is confronting Bartolomeo.
I think that was an excuse.
An excuse for Shanks?
Yeah, for
It's
Shanks.
an excuse for the story. At this
for
point.
Shanks not to see Luffy.
Yeah, but it is. I think it also plays into he wants to claim the One Piece, because that is also what he said, right? Wait, did the One Piece? Did he say that he wanted to claim the One Piece before or after they were pulling up on Luffy and Green Bull?
That was after.
After, yeah.
That was after.
Okay, yeah, it was after the whole thing.
Yeah.
So he says we got issues with Bartolome now. Also, Ben Beckman, isn't it time we go claim the One Piece?
Mm-hmm.
But what does he go do? He goes drinks at a bar real quick.
Yeah, but then, like, if you really care about claiming the One Piece, right? You got a bunch of niggas there that got a bunch of poneglyphs that just was just in a fight.
That goes against what he just said. That goes against how he wants to claim the One Piece.
I don't think
he looks the Green Book crazy for doing that.
I don't think he wants the One Piece, bro.
You don't, bro.
I think Raftel is his thing, but I have this suspicion that One Piece isn't necessarily what Roger obtained. Like, I feel like he went to Laughdale. I feel like he saw the true history and they learned the true history, but they were too early to truly be able to take whatever treasure One Piece truly is. It's real. Like Whitebeard says, it's real, but he didn't say it's been, it's there. He didn't say it's at Laughdale. He said it's real.
Well, I mean, whatever Roger found there is information, right? It's not like he's found, like, even the way Roger's story goes in the news is that he went somewhere, he found the last island and he obtained something. But Roger himself says they got it all wrong. I didn't obtain everything. But the story that he puts out is that I left it all there. But he never, like, Roger didn't go there and like gain something. He learned the truth. But it's possible that if you are there in the right circumstances, then you gain something.
You see what I mean? Yeah.
But it depends on what you value, right? Because I don't think Blackbeard cares about the One Piece for like what the One Piece really is. I think Blackbeard would want the One Piece because he assumes it's more power.
I don't know. I don't think Blackbeard is a guy who wants power, but if you want, he also seems like he has an idea of what it could be.
I think Blackbeard wants it because it represents being the king. Like, whoever has One Piece is the pirate king, and I think he just wants that title.
That's a bit shallow though for Blackbeard.
I think for Blackbeard, it's kind of like he thinks whatever's left there could add to his power. I think that's all he cares about.
You think Blackbeard is that shallow though?
Yeah.
He seems like he's got other motives.
Like what?
I think the motives that Blackbeard has is similar to Luffy in a sense, because they are the same coin, just different sides of how to get there, right? So, like, what if Luffy, he's always said, like, my dream is not becoming Pirate King. I'm becoming Pirate King so I can achieve my dream. Yeah. What if Blackbeard's the same, What if becoming Pirate King and obtaining One Piece is the first step in a bigger calculated plan? And Blackbeard very much is calculating and planning. So, like, to me, it feels like, just like Luffy, he needs to become Pirate King at minimum.
But, Sage, to your point, that could be him proving his power. Like, I'm the strongest. I claim the One Piece.
True, but naming your ship the Sword of Zebek alludes to something greater than just power. Because it's not like Zebek wanted to become the king of the world just for... Do you think he wanted to become the king of the world just for power?
I think he wanted control, which essentially boils down to having power.
I wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah.
But control for what purpose? That's where it becomes shallow or not.
We could assume that
just because he's a man.
Yeah, you could assume it could go back to him looking at the celestial dragons and how they rule, and he feel like he could just rule better than them. So just like I have to become powerful, and then I can become the king of the world. Simple.
I feel like it's a twisted way of looking at eras to me, or ages. Like, Whitebeard had an age, Roger had an age, and I feel like Rocks didn't have an age. Rocks' age was wiped out from history, and he wasn't allowed that kind of death. And I feel like Blackbeard is connected to Rocks, but like, he definitely seems to want to now. He's like spend time hidden, but now he seems to very much want to be in the public spotlight. He's doing things to gain notoriety, specifically so people know who he is. And I feel like this concept where, he wants to define an age and he wants to define an era and have his name be the loudest name. I feel like that is kind of part of Blackbeard's like motivation. Like, the concept of him having true legacy, and whether that's influenced by Zebek or not, like, I feel like it's not just about power, it's actually about like true notoriety. Because when Roger talks about One Piece, he doesn't just talk about gaining power, he talks about gaining fame.
Yeah.
Wealth, fame, power.
Mm-hmm.
The fame came along with it. Also, well, I mean, Roger did say that we'll be known as the greatest pirate crew. Like, it was part of the plan.
Yeah, for Blackbeard, his motivations, there could still be things there that we don't know about. It's just always tough with him because you always feel like there's other things going on, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But I think for everything, like with the One Piece and what it's assumed to be, I think it could be arrogance too, right? Where it's just like, you know, even with Whitebeard saying you're not the one that he's waiting for, he's like, all right, I'm gonna go get it then. Let's see what's waiting there, actually.
Whitebeard,
you know.
I mean, yeah.
He wasn't gonna say that to Whitebeard in his face.
Now he would.
He would now for sure.
Shit, I don't know about that, man. That nigga pussy.
Yeah, I'm convinced that we're gonna get a Blackbeard flashback, and I think when we do, we're gonna get a glimpse into his real motivations, if he has, you know, deeper motivations.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he does.
Like
It seems like everything's pretty methodical. You know, he has something going on in his life.
When he pull up on niggas in Marineford and say, "Yo, this is my era."
I don't think Blackbeard's pussy at all, because he pulled up at the Marineford War not knowing Shanks was going to be there. So his plan was, I'm going to stay here. Doesn't matter if there's warlords. Doesn't matter if there's admirals. It doesn't matter if there's Sengoku and Garp. It's my age.
Yeah.
He waited until everybody was spent.
Who was spent? Was Kizaru spent?
Yeah.
He thought he was.
Was Sengoku spent?
I knew
he thought he was.
What do you mean he thought he was?
Well, I don't know. It's just like if
Blackbeard's perspective, he thought everybody was out there like huffing and puffing. That's why he pulled up.
Even being there, he still said he was still planning to fight until the end.
You think if everybody was spent, right? Like to that point, even Blackbeard could really take out all those niggas?
No, but Blackbeard probably believed that he could.
He had just gotten the Gurgura. I don't think he knew how to use it that long.
Yeah, I think Blackbeard just wanted to come cause chaos.
He is an underhanded, cunning wretch. That is what Teach is.
Yeah, but you're not pussy though.
Yeah, I don't know. kind of muddling the definition of pussy here.
I don't think he's pussy. I'm just like, I think he's, you know, he's not honorable, right? Like you said, underhanded, but
that boy pussy.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
That's not true.
Modeling the definition of pussy on International Women's Day. How could you?
Oh my God.
You're my favorite woman, by the way, Sage.
Oh my God.
He said, not even your mom, Sage, is your favorite woman?
I think she'll understand. But if y'all had to compare Rocks to a real life figure, who would it be? Osama bin Laden?
Yo.
What?
Sorry.
No, you know who it would be?
Probably
like,
Trump.
What?
I don't know. I think there has to be a figure that picks up the torch and carry his ideologies. Saddam Hussein would be Blackbeard in this, because Osama bin Laden was first, right? Then it was Saddam.
No.
Saddam Hussein was first.
They were bopping around the same time.
They both had to.
It's not like Saddam's like
overlapping eras.
He was Roger in the back.
Well, in my defense, I was like 7 at the time when the nigga died.
Yo, this is getting to dangerous territory, because I was about to say something
like,
crazy.
you know, the chapter that we've still not really talked about. Like...
I was about to say, so what's God's Valley? But we're not gonna go there.
Oh wow,
no.
I'm about to say Garden of Eden right there.
No, but did anyone else like going to the chapter? Like, I know that's a bit weird, but like the stone stuff. Does anyone else feel like that's like ice only level stalling?
The sea stone?
No,
Frankie and Usopp and them can't turn into stone.
All of them into stone.
No, I think it makes sense, because if you have these Seraphim that are the strongest creatures, a lot of our Straw Hats got to take L's. I mean,
but I think like saying it's obvious stalling, because we already know what's gonna happen.
I think it's because they like children.
What do y'all think? What do y'all think is gonna happen? Because for me, I think it's obvious that Boa, when she meets, she's gonna turn and she's gonna help Luffy and she's gonna undo them.
I feel like that's the only way to unstone.
No, she can't turn because she's under orders.
But they say, but then they say you can go against like quote unquote orders.
No, but it's only like within that order. So for example, they were given the order, destroy the Labo phase, right?
Mm-hmm.
And And then once they get up there to the dome, to the frontier dome, right? The Seraphim come up there because they're like their combat decisions. They're like, okay, if we want to keep destroying stuff, we need to obviously go to where everybody else is. So it's like they have small decision making, but you can't just override the whole order. Otherwise, there's no point of having them be subservient.
Well, that may be where like the free will part comes in that we might touch on later.
Well, that just means Vegapunk failed again.
It's like an instinctive thing, right? Then I said about the sharks, like sometimes they go against.
Lilith was toying with that at the beginning of the arc,
and so if Boa
she ordered it not to do.
If her instinct is to help Luffy,
it could because it's Boa.
Yeah, because
it may have like this attachment.
Yeah, but the attachment only came through experience. It's like it's not like
they
Boa
share experience with bloodline elements.
Yeah,
apparently.
I mean you could crack it up to an Oda gag at the end of the day. He's gonna write what he wants.
At the same point, it's like I can see Boa falling for this Seraphim Boa falling for Luffy after meeting him more, right? Because part of the reason why is because it's the fact that Luffy was different from every other man she's met, right? Exactly. He wasn't attracted to her,
so maybe her shit don't work.
He was also a noble person. Like he chose to free the citizens of Amazon Lily. I forget their names, but he chose to free them from stone rather than get a boat.
Amazonians.
Margaret and stuff.
Yeah, Margaret.
Yeah, Margaret, Sweet Pea. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
he also hides. He hides
the back.
There's a lot of developments into that attraction.
So this Boa can fall in love with Luffy again, the same way other Boa did,
but it would take. It's not like she meets Luffy. She has hard eyes, and then like
right. Yeah, and I don't think that
there's gonna be.
Are you saying that the Seraphim
already seen Luffy? She's seen Luffy already, right?
Yeah,
she's seen Luffy, but it's like she hasn't met Luffy necessarily.
I think we're gonna have a scene where she tries to turn Luffy to stone, and then she can.
Yeah, so I think that'll be part of it.
Are you saying that the Seraphim take on traits and characteristics of the original subjects?
For sure.
Well, if they are clones, that would be the case.
They are clones, and they unlock more and more DNA.
So wouldn't that mean S-Hawk would call out Zoro specifically and be like, "Let's go over here, get away from these guys"?
Well, no, they haven't met him.
It's more like muscle memory and like psychological preference than.
It's basically cloning Mihawk before he met Zoro.
So the decisions Mihawk would make back then, it's like this Seraphim would probably make the same decisions.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mihawk picked out Zoro in a crowd.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they found a way to deal with the Seraphim.
Mihawk didn't pick out Zoro in the crowd. Zoro picked out Mihawk.
I don't think so. Zoro challenged his ass.
No, because the story tells us that Mihawk has plenty of challengers constantly, even though we never see any of them.
I mean, after he fought him, he's like, "You're built."
After he fought him.
So he picked out Zoro in the crowd. It's a crowd of niggas always going after Mihawk. But Zoro,
he fights all of them.
I guess it's saying not a literal crowd, but a crowd. But we don't know how he deals with other niggas that even though he doesn't acknowledge them, I'm sure he still beats them.
Because he didn't acknowledge Zoro at all until halfway through the fight.
So you telling me it's a slew of niggas that's like, I'm going to fight Mihawk at the end.
And they got one shot, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that in Marineford with the two Okamas. They're like, we faced you before and you beat us.
I'm talking about how Mihawk reacted to Zoro after the fact.
Yeah, but that was only after meeting him.
After he blocked his attack, he's like, okay, you're not a scrub. Like, you somebody actually need to put in work.
Yeah, but hasn't Zoro and S-Hawk interacted already?
Yeah, they have.
Yeah,
several times.
Does this S-Hawk put himself that highly where he's like, okay, you can challenge me? Is he at that level yet?
Yeah, I don't know. Mihawk might have got a big head from being the Marine Hunter, you know.
Yeah, I think
if he got the characteristics and traits of Mihawk, I think he would be like, yeah, man, hey, you nice, man. Let's go over here and handle this.
Mihawk might have had humble beginnings, you don't know.
Yeah, we gotta. It's hard to insinuate or try to speculate exactly what a young Mihawk would do without knowing exactly experiences.
Like, the Ja Morant of the One Piece universe.
Hold on.
Yo, that's crazy. In these current times, that's crazy.
The Ja Morant, I don't know what that means.
The Ja Morant of the One Piece universe.
How's that
extremely talented, had a nice upbringing, but he chooses to be steeped into the darkness of the world. That's what he would rather be involved in. That's his prerogative.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm just saying, because if you look at the young pictures that Skeptic and Oda drew, He had tattered clothing, but he was cute in the face, though.
Wait, what you mean?
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that?
I
He
mean
said he was
that
cute in the face, though.
he chose
Cute
to
in the
wear those
face.
clothing with no marks on his face. The clothing was tattered, so it looked like he had that appeance.
No, he had
but there's
marks
no
on his face.
blemishes on his face.
Nah, he had marks on his face. He was
His
that's
grooming was
sure?
on point.
Maybe he
That's
just
all.
maybe just watched his face.
Exactly, his
I
grooming
don't
was on point.
If
He
it
gave,
would make
him,
it-
he gave
if
himself a
anything,
little lick and wipe, like he's good.
That proves he had
Yeah,
running
clean.
water, so he had a nice upbringing.
I think you want him to be John Morant.
He's pulling for this.
Hey, you're forcing the similarities, but hey, it's cool.
I think it's a parallel there. I think so. Personally,
Hey,
That's what Oda had in mind.
I believe so.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
But like I said, with the Seraphim, it's like it depends on how deep Oda wants to go with them. Because if Oda doesn't care about the fact that they need to build these connections first, and they just all have the same preferences that the Shichibukai have, then I'd say that's lazy writing. Because like if Luffy pulls up, he does two things, and Boa has like hard eyes. That's lazy writing. Because it took a lot for Boa to like.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't like built in. It's Luffy's character that she noticed, and she fell in love with him after that.
Yeah, because he can easily have some small interactions and then like organically build that attraction back or whatever.
Yeah, I just hope that we don't befriend the Seraphim. I would not like that.
I think
We
I think the
undoubtedly
point of
will.
I think the Seraphim have to stay weapons of the government. Otherwise,
They
they
do. Yeah,
I think
because we're getting
there's
too
no
many
threat.
allies.
I think they have to be a threat later on. They have to grow into those threats later on. I mean,
Yeah.
it's possible. Maybe at the end of everything, they'll free them. But it's
Maybe-
like the world government needed these things on
Maybe
their
the
side
Boa
because of
one.
this.
Yeah, I feel like the bow one has to come on our side slightly at least,
Yeah.
because only she can sort
Oh.
out the fact that half an entire party is now like turned to stone.
Yeah, we
The
don't know
other
anything
thing
else
is-
they're gonna
Crazy
do,
though, like if
The Boa one, she's so devious based on what I've seen of her this chapter. It's actually funny.
Yeah, she's funny.
it'd be crazy if the world government go out of their way to replace the warlords with these Seraphim, then they end up doing the same things that the warlords
Exactly.
did in Marineford.
That would be.
Oh
that would
my
be hilarious.
goodness, that would be the irony of that. would
I like
be
that parallel though.
Crazy.
We're like,
I think
Bo-
the world
Boas
government
fighting
need
against
these.
pacifists and shit.
Oh, imagine they have a S Gecko or whatever, and
That's the only one that's actually doing shit.
that's the only one that's actually doing it. And he's actually powerful. That'd be hilarious. It's like, okay, this one is actually good. It's a success.
Yeah, but we need her to release the Straw Hats, so that's gonna have to happen. Because that's the power.
Yeah.
Do you think? Remember last week we were talking about the Straw Hats being a very like top tier crew.
Yeah.
Do you think this changes your perception of them like a bit?
I think if anything, it boosts the Seraphim. in my
Seraphim are
mind.
just strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I give the Seraphim more credit than anything. They're just powerful.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
they
what
are
it
being
always
they are still going to be at the end of the day be saved by the top heavy part of the crew.
Do you think
I
Yeah.
feel, no,
do
go
you
ahead,
think
Sid.
that if thank you, do you think that if Vegapunk looked into Lunarian DNA and like sees them as like a superhuman kind of genetic machine, do you think it's possible that the Lunarians are super soldiers, like just in general? Because like we see three-winged sky racers in Skypiea on the murals, right, in the Nails cover story, but we never see any mentioning of the Lunarians, and they have a very specifically different design too. And I do wonder if like the Ancient Kingdom's technology seems to have cloning involved, because we see cloned Autonoma or whatever, and they seem to be pretty sentient. So like,
I feel like for them to be revered as gods, they would have to be a race of people that were not created.
Yeah, I think they're just looked up as gods, like from the Void Century's perspective.
Because they were there
Mhm.
before the Celestial Dragons.
yeah,
Yeah.
they were.
Because
Because-
I've seen them as gods.
Because when in that NL cover story, when we see him go to the ancient city of Burka, right, on the moon,
Mhm.
and he sees all those hieroglyphs, you're right. It only shows the Burkans, it shows the Shandorians, and it shows the Skypians.
Mhm.
But at the same time, they look completely different from the Lunarians. But the Lunarians also have moon in their name. Like,
So Lunarians, are they the OG Seraphims?
Well, this is what I'm asking. Yeah, like Vegapunk seems to mostly be copying ancient history
They're
text.
the blueprints.
They're the OG Seraphims, and then they basically went against orders and went to live by themselves, but because of their, I guess, supernatural powers, etc.
I don't know.
They were
King to me seems
praised as
very.
God.
What you going to do about it?
They're
King
praised
to
as
me
gods.
King to me seems very organic. You know, the Seraphims do scan. They do have
But surely
radars in their head.
so is surely Stussy.
Yeah. And back
Who
then,
wiped them
they were
niggas out,
better.
man?
They were better than today. So like, whatever the creations are, they're gonna be better than how they look today.
I think
Who
we're
wiped them out?
I don't think we know. Or well, the government maybe.
Probably the
Well,
world.
we
More
know
than
that
like,
somebody
definitely
took their place
yeah.
on the top of the world.
There was the
Red
Celestial
Line.
Dragons did. So like, they wiped them out.
They strong as hell.
I think we're gonna need a new tier.
The world government, right?
Well, the
Yeah,
world government
'cause-
they took down the ancient kingdom.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Lunarians wouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah.
They strong as hell.
But has anyone else noticed that Lilith is not Lilith? Stussy is missing in this chapter,
She is missing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't notice that.
Well,
and like the noise
missing-
is like clonk clonk, which is a little bit heel like rather than foot like.
well, it's hard to say she's missing because if you say she's missing, you'd have to say Jinbei was missing because
Yeah, I
we
was
see
gonna say, Jinbei
Sanji,
was with her.
but we know Sanji's group had no immediate danger because Sanji went to go help Nami. So it's probably Jinbei and Stussy still together.
Who was in Sanji's group? Was Robin with Sanji?
No, it was Sanji,
It was Jinbei,
Stussy,
Stussy.
and Jinbei.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think he would have. Well, would he prioritize Nami over Stussy? Does he do that? Does he have like a
he
hierarchy
would.
system between women?
Yeah, Sanji's hierarchy system.
I think it just implies that they weren't in danger because there's only 4 Seraphim that we know of attacking right now. Two of them are fighting Luffy's group. One of them's fighting Nami's group, and the other one is fighting Frankie's group. So it's like it's implied that they're not being Stussy and Jinbei aren't being attacked right now. So Sanji
And
went to go
even if
sit
they
Nami.
are, I feel like they're strong enough they can handle themselves compared to
Yeah.
Nami and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's an interesting question though. Like, who would he save if it was Robin or Nami? Would he save Nami because he's been with her longer?
You'd be of two minds.
I think he tried to save both.
Nami.
Yeah, he tried both.
Yeah.
If he had to pick
If-
one, probably Nami.
I think he would
I think
attempt
so, too.
cellular fission. That's what I think.
No,
Yeah, that's what I
we've
think.
seen,
I mean,
we've seen
yeah.
in Wano. We've seen in
Yeah.
Wano that he trusts Robin handling herself
Yeah.
more than.
Yeah.
And
No.
this
Yeah,
is
that's
true.
true.
And also, I feel like he has an eternal debt towards Nami because of Whole Cake.
Mhm.
Because remember, they
yeah.
had that whole
And
interaction.
all
It's like, I'm not gonna let you live that down anytime soon. So
Plus
Probably.
Nami.
Yeah,
battered
Sanji
too,
has
so-
Sanji has this weird like not just rivalry but actual disdain for Jinbei. Like Nami's let it go, Nami couldn't care less, and there's Sanji just boiling in
this is just an
resentment.
excuse for Sanji.
It's also-
I've been
it's also-
saying
Because he's
Sanji
a
been
bad
waiting.
person.
He been
He's not
waiting.
a good person.
Well, I think Sanji's a for every extent of the word, he's a simp, right? So in
Simps are
Fishman
not good
Island,
people.
I don't think they're bad people.
Yeah.
Oh, and also, I don't know if you guys noticed, but thanks to the spoilers, I was made aware that the swirl of his eyebrows changed
Yeah.
from when he initially.
Oh, the spoilers said
yeah.
that?
Well, yeah, they're
Oh,
spoiling,
okay.
like, oh, and notice the switch. I'm like, oh shit, okay.
Okay.
I ain't, like, because I know me, I would not pick up on that just reading.
Yeah, people in the chat were spamming it. But
Oh, they were. Oh shit.
yeah. But nah, I think Sanji's been waiting to put his hands on Jinbei, and he can't do it to the actual
Oh,
Jinbei.
yeah.
So he's
This
yo,
fillet
he's like
is on
little
the menu.
Jinbei. You about to catch
where
this?
on the doll did he upset you? Like,
Yeah.
it's a bit-
Yeah,
it's
Sanji-
I
too
still
much.
remember when that chapter dropped, man. The spoiler said that he got bodied by Child Jinbei.
What?
Yeah,
That's
I hear
crazy.
shark fillet is very tender. So
It's also the fact that Jinbei got placed higher than him bounty wise. So
Oh
it's
yeah,
like
he's
it's
a
kind of
little
like
salty about
revenge.
that.
He's gonna prove that he's actually stronger.
He got multiple reasons to be
he's
salty.
got he's got so much.
It's like imagine if there was a
anger.
Zoro. Imagine if there was a Zoro Seraphim. He would beat the.
Oh, it's over.
He would
It's
be
over.
pissed.
Oh yeah.
He's like, oh, I actually get to beat up on you. No repercussions. Yeah, we're doing that.
Damn.
Crazy.
Is that Matt?
What's up, man?
What up,
Yo.
Matt?
Hello, everyone. How y'all doing?
Doing all right.
Chilling, we
Good,
chilling.
man.
How you
How
feel
you
about the
doing, bro?
chapter?
Big vibes.
You know, it's a good chapter. It's pretty nice.
The shock of dead, bro.
What was so funny about that?
No, it's just because it was so
Amazing
like
breakdown.
unenthusiastic. Yeah, like it just like you sound like you just toked and like were giving us a response that was enough of a response. It was beautiful. Like
Usually
chef's
Matt's got a lot of thoughts.
Nah, Matt always does this. He act like he don't got no thoughts, and he gonna have a lot of thoughts later.
It's a tease.
Yeah, he's gotta let him warm up.
Hey!
I'll catch you guys later, though.
I'm a little shy. I didn't know there was gonna be this many people on the call.
Oh,
This is less than
There's
usual.
more
Don't they
on the
tell
call
you how many
before
people are in
stopping.
there when you about to get in?
No, they don't.
It does. It does. It does.
Yeah.
Not on
Could
my
have pulled
phone.
up the stream though.
No. I don't even know why
It just
y'all
tell
do
you as niggas in there.
that. Right.
I was
That's all
just
it
a little. I was just a little nervous. You know.
Y'all
It's a
remember that
lot
fighting game with the gay nigga on it? They used to do
A lot of
Moonwalk?
hockey in here.
Which gay nigga?
He wore like red pants. I think he had a black vest and a white
Hold
dress
on,
shirt
hold on,
underneath
hold
the
on. Why
vest.
you gotta be a gay nigga? Why can't he be a gay dude?
That nigga was gay. He used to go.
Well,
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Oh, I forget his name.
I think it was in King of Fighters. I think that's what it was. He used to do the moonwalk. It was like he was supposed to be like an amalgamation of Prince, Michael Jackson, and Luther Vandross.
Yo,
Not Luther Vandross.
Luther?
hey yo, Brago, what was
I
the
think
last
you
thing
added
that
that
you
part.
cooked?
Yeah, I did.
Huh?
Because he's gay.
I said, what was the last thing that you cooked?
The last thing I don't remember.
The live
Hello
stream.
Fresh.
Oh
Pop-Tart.
damn! So it's been that long? Damn! I'm trying to get some money like that. Nigga said he don't know the last time he cooked.
What you
Wait,
mean?
where's this coming from?
I think Matt probably cooking right now.
No, I just made some good ass food.
What'd you make?
Noodles.
Some Brussels sprouts, salmon, and couscous.
Oh, couscous, bro.
Oh, that sounds kind of fire.
That do sound gas.
No, it don't.
Oh, your hand,
Yeah,
your hand,
dude.
couscous.
Don't lie to this nigga.
Coos sound like a cartoon character from the 90s.
That kind of
healthy
sounds like
shit, bro.
Cusco.
Exactly.
Cusco's from the 2000s, not the 90s.
We ain't got to muddy the line to the decades now.
I see
Okay.
I see you plugging in that Hello Fresh, Brago. You ever cook anything from there?
Of course. Every night.
I fucked with HelloFresh. My box just came in today.
Yeah.
So do I. I fucks with HelloFresh too, just for Brago.
HelloFresh.
Oh
and,
yeah. I definitely caught some shit from HelloFresh because of Brago.
And
So
Factor.
shout out to you.
And Factor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
Shout out
gonna
to
say
you.
Factor is even better, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to
You don't really gotta
HelloFresh.
cook for real.
I'm
my
gonna get
nigga
a
some money.
Factor shirt.
Is it salmon with hit right now? I think I want like a sandwich. Like
You are not a bear.
I'm feeling some pasta right now, man.
Smoked salmon on the bagel.
like
That's my shit.
Jersey Mike's.
Did you end up
Dude.
defeating that? Did you end up defeating that ant that was in your room, man?
Nah, that nigga's still in here somewhere. I ain't gonna lie to you.
It's a big ass ant, nigga.
That
That's
nigga
gonna be
still in
terrible in 2 weeks.
That nigga's still in here. I ain't gonna cap.
Wait, Brago, you mess with Jersey Mike's? What you get there?
I get turkey and ham.
Turkey and
Sub.
ham?
Oh,
You committing half a sin.
Yeah, it's cold.
Ooh.
They get it Mike's
oh
way.
no! Oh.
What's the half of the sin, Steve-O?
What is it?
Because it's turkey and ham. You know, ham is a sinful. Ham dirty. They be fucking with no condoms.
Swine?
Yeah.
Like
And
us?
that's a
Yeah.
natural way to do it? What you mean?
We swines, nigga.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Don't every animal fuck with no condoms?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess.
Wait, doesn't every animal fuck with what?
No condoms.
No condoms.
I ain't even think of that. Damn, that's true. They all dirty. So why they be tripping
every
off the
animal-
I
pig?
think because
All-
pigs.
all
I think
these
because
things.
pigs eat anything. They eat their shit.
Yeah, they'll eat anything.
They eat
So
their
do
shit.
like-
we.
But you don't eat that
No,
shit
no,
though.
Some of us do.
Who?
This
Yeah.
No, but that's like the norm for pigs. Like,
That's awfully exclusionary what you're doing right now.
what? That they eat their shit?
No,
you're the one.
saying
You're the one
people
that. You're the
don't
one
eat
that
shit.
started off saying they're dirty, though.
Yeah,
Yeah, they are dirty animals, right?
they're very filthy animals.
I thought they were, but y'all said they all don't fuck with condoms. So I
Do
mean,
you
what,
think
what,
animals
what
I
fuck
do
with
you
think-
think?
condoms?
I think
Is that no
sex is
information
the,
to you, though?
That's what makes it dirty.
Dexter, no.
I don't think sex is what makes the animals dirty, though, Steve.
Nah, bro, pigs are probably the most disgusting animals in the world.
That's cat.
It's not because
they're
they
nasty
shit.
on the exterior.
They're not as bad as the rep that they've been given.
I mean, I would throw pigs up
they
there. I would throw birds in there.
Nah.
Why birds?
Birds is
Yeah,
nice.
birds.
You said why birds?
Have you all ever seen?
Do you see what birds do to make their nest?
What do they do?
Oh no,
Bro, it's like spit, shit, twigs, fucking like everything.
That just
It's all
means
like
that just means that they're
called being
creative.
resourceful.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
They're working
that's
with what
not
they
nasty.
got, you know.
Fam, that shit is gross.
If
When
I could
you ain't got
sleep
no
on my
tobacco, what
shit,
you
I
gonna
You
would
would
do it.
They don't have-
you would go to sleep on a mattress like molded with your shit.
But the thing
If it
is,
don't stink to me,
I mean, you can trust it because
but
it's yours,
but,
right?
but if they don't got a nest and they like have their kids and shit, don't their kids die if they don't got nowhere for it to go? So it's like,
No,
you know
that's
what I'm saying? So yeah, I
for the survival of their
their kids die by like larger birds anyway. So like
yeah. So if I got
Like,
to make
eagles and owls.
that
They
don't mean you
didn't
just give
deserve a
up.
chance.
if I got to live in a shit house, you know what I'm saying, for my kids. Yeah.
You sound like them pro-abortion people. It's like
Whoa.
the kid ain't got a chance no way, so you might as
Oh,
well get
damn.
rid of him. I mean,
Damn.
all life matters.
Oh, that's what they say.
I don't know.
wait. Everybody in the chat, everybody in the chat talking about everybody in the chat talking about we eat ass. So it's not that.
That's true.
Listen, bro. Listen. Eating ass is not the same as eating shit. Okay.
It's pretty close.
Isn't it?
Nah, there's some people that eat shit though.
But niggas eat
That's
clean.
a-
Niggas eat
that's-
clean
that's a
ass
fetish
though.
for it.
It's clean ass.
Yeah, niggas
Yeah,
eat clean
yeah,
ass.
yeah.
No,
And
but
then-
niggas
and
like
then
our
our
I've seen
bodies-
there's a clean
our
ass.
bodies
I did
are,
see
like,
I did see a
normal.
video it was on Twitter where like the chick was eating the nigga ass like in a parking lot. Did y'all see that?
Oh, I saw that.
Yo,
yeah,
I saw
yeah.
that.
Yo,
Dude, she was,
Ain't
she
no
was
such thing as a
digging in
clean
there,
ass.
spreading
If
the
you're not
cheeks
getting your
wide. It's
colon
crazy.
pressure washed, your ass is not clean. Your ass is always going to be dirty. It's an ass.
Steve, I don't know about that, bro.
nah.
That sounds like you don't know how to properly
Yeah.
shave.
Yeah, it sounds like you don't know how to
Steve
make
ain't
clean
clean his
bro.
ass right.
Yeah.
If you don't pressure wash the inside of your rod, how in the hell is your
You
ass going to
said
be
pressure
clean? It's
wash?
shit. Yeah.
Okay,
What's
what
your-
about girls that bleed? Do you think the pussy's ever really clean then?
I mean, that's different because it ain't bleeding 24/7. Shit is always
always
You not
circulating
shitting
in the
24/7?
But shit is always
Some niggas
circulating
don't
in
shit
the
every
body.
day.
That's
I
a
don't.
fact.
That
That's
is
a
true.
fact.
Some niggas don't shit
Some
every day.
people don't shit every day.
Them niggas ain't healthy.
Well, that's
What you
true
mean?
too.
But they clean though.
But that don't mean that ass
That's
dirty though. That ass
Wait,
clean.
hold up. What is that
You
supposed to
got
mean?
bigger problems if you ain't shitting every day.
No, you don't need to shit.
I don't know if
Depending how
every
you
day,
eat.
maybe every
Nah,
other
you
day.
definitely should.
Yeah,
You
every
definitely
other
should.
day. Every
I think
other
you
day.
need to
Every
shit
day,
every
you got
day.
too much fiber in your system, brother.
You
should.
need
There's
to
just
shit
no
every
way.
day.
Shit every day.
Every day?
I think it's healthy to shit once a day.
I think
What?
I mean I think more than probably 5 out of the 7 days. 6 out of the 7 days, maybe.
Do not
I don't think
shit
there's been a
every
day
single
life
day.
I didn't
You're
shit.
supposed to.
There's definitely been a day where I
You're
haven't
not
taken a shit.
supposed to.
You're supposed to shit every day.
Mandatory shit every day.
I don't immediately think there's something wrong.
Shit,
That
man.
is crazy. Shitting every
What?
day is crazy, dog. Not me.
I don't know.
Really?
It's crazy.
What do
Yeah.
It's not crazy, nigga. It's
What do you
healthy.
No. What I mean, no. When
Remember,
say
you
it's
eat every day,
mandatory,
right?
that's
Multiple
what's
times a
crazy.
day.
Exactly.
Well, but sometimes just once a day. Sometimes I eat very light. It just depends on how your life.
Ron
is.
gave me
Like,
say he does it
telling
3
me-
times a day. You gotta go get it checked.
you got a
There's something
very
going
nice
on with your
physique.
booty hole.
Yeah, I'm about to say that nigga has
No
like straight
homosexuality
foliage in
in
his
skin.
diet.
3 times a day? God
Yeah.
damn.
But
You'll
you say
find
you
very
don't
much
shit
too much.
every day. That's crazy. I see why your physique is so nice. Where is it? What you shit gotta come out your body at least once a day.
Every day?
Now
I
there's
don't know.
days
That is
there's days where you could go to sleep.
There's
without
days where you don't, right? But like the next day you feel the
You gonna
build
shit
up.
in your sleep.
You feel
Oh no! Yeah, the next, like, you know what?
Hey,
It
Steve-O,
balances
hold on,
out.
hold on.
It balances
Hold on,
out
hold on.
at
There's
the
a
end
problem
of the
here. Steve, you believe that if you don't take a shit that day, you're gonna shit in your sleep?
I believe there's a very nice possibility you gonna
Okay.
shit in
You
your
shit in
sleep.
your sleep. You got a very,
No,
very,
you
very
have- you
poor
have
control of your
incontinence.
sphincter.
That's-
That's
yeah.
a different problem.
That means that you got some other shit you've been doing.
Yeah. You got
Yeah, you got to push out.
You
gotta
got a
push
little
out the
leakage
shit,
there
bro.
from some other activities, Steve-O.
You got listen, Steve, you got to push out the shit. You can't do that in your sleep.
You might need to talk to Bao about that.
Yeah. how to control that.
Yeah, because Bao
allegedly
Bao
he's
has
pretty
no
big.
control.
Or if you want to go to the top, go to the top member of the heavy
Why would I
six.
say that? Why would I say that? What I just said just now. Oh my God.
Jay Hart, do you know about the heavy six?
I'm sorry?
You know about the heavy six?
I do not.
Okay. Well, just know Twitter members of Jake and Bao.
Okay, look.
Oh no.
He might be heavy 7.
Look. No. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? If Kaido has a flying 6, when we go to Elbaf, there's going to be a heavy 6, and we just decided that Jake and who was the other one?
Bao.
So Jake and Bao.
Those are the two top.
members of the
Well,
heavy
no,
six.
those are two out of the 3 top members.
Okay, so
Who the other
so
one?
BDV, Steve-O, who are the other 2?
Oh Jesus. Me? I'm in the heavy 6 and I
Well,
ain't know it.
when they say Trent is the cook of the heavy 6.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Trent.
All right,
Trent being the cook is too funny.
And for whatever reason, Matt is Jake's right hand man. So I don't know.
Oh, that's
yeah.
Wait. Huh?
That's what Jake decided. He
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
Jake said,
Jake
if I'm in the heavy 6,
apparently. Yeah.
Jake Alite says, if I'm in the heavy 6, Matt B's my right hand.
Yeah,
man.
that's what he said.
It's the mask got to go with me.
Yeah, man. It's an illustrious group. I fuck with them.
I see. I fuck with y'all boys, man.
Does
I don't
anyone
even know how I got caught up in that.
Should
But
be y'all
okay.
success.
I don't know what the goal of the heavy 6 is, but I wish them success as well.
It's domination.
The Sage have it. Yeah, Sage has. It's called Sea Stone Sage. I'll put it in the chat if you want to get to Sage's channel. I don't know the last time Sage uploaded. Well, it was like 2 years ago, but she got
Yeah,
some shit on there. All right,
Damn,
I'll get
you
through
seem
some
more
chats.
active on Twitter.
Last time I almost uploaded was about 2 years ago at this point.
The last time I uploaded was about 3-4 years ago.
Yo,
Where
wait.
did I put that water bottle?
Did Matt do that thing where he streamed all of
Come on.
Hell
man.
no. What the hell?
Come on.
No.
Wait, where I streamed all of what? What are you talking about?
I
December.
thought you were supposed to stream for a whole month.
I made it like 15 days or something like that.
Matt, come on.
Yeah. I remember we
No,
was counting down the
not
minutes.
It was like
consistently. I made it like 15 days of December.
Okay,
We
okay,
were
okay.
there. We were there.
All right. So you streamed 15 days in December.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, cool.
I failed at the
Second day.
at the consecutive days, but I did like 15 days, I think, where it was like 15 or 16, one of those.
Okay, cool.
He said it was just 30 starting from December, right?
Huh?
Hey man, it is what it is. I think the last time I uploaded on Don Brago was like 5 years ago.
Man, you need to do that, man. Go ahead and do the Hunter stream.
No, that's
On
where he
Don
dropped
Brago.
Dress Rosa. Dress Rosa was rapping on that.
Are you talking about on Brago the Ace?
Don Brago.
Don Brago.
Don Braco.
Don Brago, okay.
Yeah, Don Brago.
I think Don Brago and Nenmac need to do a collab.
Nenmac.
Mac.
That would be legendary.
Yeah,
I
y'all
want
should put that together.
to collab with Macadamia. That's who I want to
No,
collab.
actually, no. It won't be
Macadamia?
legendary.
Yeah.
What about
Hero
what about-
Macadamia.
what about if we get some more Dragon Ball news? You think you're gonna collab with SS Mac?
SS Mac. I think
Wow.
SS Mac got banned.
Jesus.
They didn't like the Jerem.
Too much clickbait. They got SS Mac applied there, bro.
Didn't he have a fast food review channel called McDonald's?
I don't know.
No, it was called Mac. It was called Mac Bang.
I don't
Oh
remember.
wow.
Oh, wow.
Jesus.
Is there when the chapter go live? We just waiting right now.
Yeah, we'll drop you the link when it comes out.
Yeah. It's just a little
Such a troll, man.
little pregame.
Assholes.
Pregame. That's a
Yeah,
that's a
drop his
very long
prediction.
pregame, man.
2 hour
Yo,
pregame.
wait. One thing I wanted to say though, like back to this chapter 2 seconds is, yo, is it just me or does Kaku seem cool? Yo, Kaku kind of cool.
You
I've
kinda
been
saucy
saying that.
chapter.
Yo,
Yeah.
we
I'm
need to
just
start
fucking with
respecting Kaku, bro. He
What?
was fighting S Hawk casually. in that
Kaku
one.
been saucy.
I just like his personality
Yeah, he's always been
altogether.
sexy.
Like, Kaku has a
I like
really
how he-
personality.
I like how he always got the turtleneck covering his face.
Well, I think I remember like from
Yeah.
Kaku. I think I started liking Kaku in like one of the openings.
Oh, and Bon Voyage.
They had a nigga running. Or even in the, in the anime,
like,
when that
he's in the
nigga,
sky, like he's running and he's gliding in the sky. Oh, that shit is
That was Bon Voyage,
fire.
wasn't it?
yeah.
It wasn't
that
Bon
was
Voyage? I don't
that was
know.
the Water 7 one.
No, that's the I think that's the one.
Nah,
right?
that's not the one. That's not
No,
the
it
one.
was
I think it was. That's Monkey.
I might be prejudiced, but I hate his nose.
That's the same one. That's the same
I
one.
can't get over his nose. I don't know what that makes me, but I just had to say.
How you feel about Usopp then?
Now this might be controversial, but I'm not really the biggest fan of Usopp either, man.
Why?
What Straw Hats do you actually like, Steve-O?
I like Sanji. I like Luffy. I like Jinbei. I thought Brook was cool before Whole Cake. I know.
Steve-O, what Straw Hat would you say you're most like? Which
Straw Hat am I most like?
Yeah.
That's kind of hard to say because
which Straw Hat do you resonate the most with?
Yeah.
I guess I could say Sanji because I'm a bit of a lecher.
A lecher, very interesting word.
Jinbei because I'm prone to stoicism, I guess, and and I'm good with trivia. Jinbei always explaining some shit.
That's not necessarily trivia, though, right?
I mean, it can be reduced to things being trivial. You know, people be like, "Hey, what's the name of this?" And Jinbei know because he always the one that's gonna say some shit.
Okay.
So I have a pretty keen interest in history, so I guess I
would say Jinbei is the closest.
Yeah, maybe Jinbei.
Jinbei or Frankie, maybe.
I would say Brook.
I said Jinbei.
Brook. Oh,
yeah.
I don't really have a panty fetish, you know.
I'd say Jinbei or
probably Jinbei IRL.
Yeah, Jinbei, but
Sanji on the internet.
Sanji on the internet.
Yeah.
I see what you said. That
okay, Jinbei IRL and then Sanji on the internet. Yeah, that's
that nigga is hella stoic.
Who does Mugiwara Mad B resonate with?
Luffy.
No, Sanji.
He's like a mixture of Luffy, Sanji, and Usopp.
Interesting.
Cooking is like cooking is something that I just recently took up on.
So you say you Sanji?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Gotta cook up them 60 wings.
Hey man.
Yo.
Hey man. It depends on your goal. You know what I'm saying? Well, Matt, who you say it is, Matt?
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say Luffy because that's like, you know, it's like oh yeah, of course he thinks he's the main character
like
type of thing.
Pick.
Yeah, but nah, like Luffy for real because that nigga's reckless as hell.
Do you feel like you're the main character?
Just be doing. No. Sometimes I just be doing some crazy, reckless ass shit, and like you know, sometimes niggas got to be like, "Hey, Matt, I don't think that's the best thing to do." And I still go.
Let's not limit it to Straw Hats, like One Piece characters.
One Piece characters.
Then open it up for everybody in here.
I don't know.
I would say Shaka for me.
Oh my god.
Shaka. Wow.
Logical.
Wow.
I'm logical to my own detriment.
That's kind of crazy.
That's the thing. I'm
okay.
logical to my own detriment because I'm always like, yo, like, first of all, I don't think I'm ever emotional, like ever.
Cap.
Can you name one time I had an outburst?
Yeah, last stream.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you bring that up?
I said Shaka. That's interesting. Steve-O's Jinbei. J.R., who would you say for you?
Nico Robin.
Robin.
I mean, she's like a chill back and kind of just like pays attention to her surroundings and just kind of just watches everything around her. That's my thing.
What about you, Teddy?
You know, I'll probably say Brooke because I always ask for consent.
I'm
playing.
Wait, you don't always ask?
I said I always.
I'm playing. I don't always ask.
No. You know, so it used to be, because I've always been into the gym, being in shape and all that stuff. So it used to be Zoro for a long time because I'm like, very driven in that aspect. I'm like, that's the one character out of everybody in One Piece that I resonate with the most. Like, I'll go to the gym, right? And anytime I start to feel a little bit slow or sluggish, I just conjure up some raw moment from Zoro, like what he did against Monet, or nothing happened, stuff like that, and it'll just get me going, right? But then at some point, I started feeling so sorry for Sanji that I became a fan of his, right? I was like, man, this man is just not catching a break. Like, I was never a fan of Sanji, like, for most of my time with One Piece. So it's just only recent years I'm like, man, he really gets bullied by Oda and by the fandom. Like, he needs help, right? And as I started getting more acquainted with him, I'm like, wait a minute, he like me for real, low key, because like his thing with women, right? The way Oda spins it, it makes it look a little bit disgusting. But if you look at it from a wholesome perspective, he just loves women in general. And that's me. I'm just like, I find most women beautiful. Like, even women that you'd say, oh, they're kind of ugly. I'm like, no, she's beautiful. Like, she got something to her, right? Especially if she got a nice ass.
Like, who? Who do you think we would say ugly you find beautiful?
How you feel about Brule?
Yeah, Brule, Brule fire. But I mean,
but Brule is not ugly to any of us. We don't. None of us.
Yeah, but Brule is not on the table for you. Sorry.
Didn't take convincing from you, Godcaster, Zaki. Like, all you guys had to convince the streets. Like, hey, Brule is that.
Yeah,
you know.
So you say you resonate the most with Sanji?
Yeah. Because
I think there's certain One Piece characters you can attribute to people. Like, that's like clear. Like, Dream in the chat is definitely Bon Clay.
If you ask me, right? If you ask me personally,
that's crazy. It's true though.
Like, here's the way I look at it, right? If you value delicious food and you like beautiful women, you're Sanji by default. You can lean more towards some other characters, but if you like the way I see it, if you're a nigga, you're Sanji Loki. Like, there's a good portion of you that's Sanji, and then the rest is whoever else you resonate with them.
I think Sanji's just I mean, everything One Piece kind of over the top, so I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but that's kind of.
I don't know what character I'd resonate with the most as far as like reflecting my personality.
You have to be somebody like very calm, composed most of the time.
I say Crocodile, bro.
Nah.
Hey, Underworld Pappy.
That's evil.
Come on, bro.
Sound evil.
Hey, that's Underworld Pappy for you.
Brago reminds me of a whoop slap.
Whoop slap.
Hey,
Because there's a bit of a hate. There's a bit of a hater in him sometimes, but for a good reason. He's like, I want everybody to be on their best.
Whoop slap.
Why you hyping Whoop Slap like that?
I think Whoop Slap is one of the most influential characters in the story.
Hey, JLR got to you, huh?
Yeah.
JLR.
Grand Line.
Is he a Whoop Slap stat?
During the most recent popularity poll, like the worldwide one, he
got everybody put Whoop Slap in there.
Whoop Slap, yeah.
Oh well, yeah. There's Bow reminds me of Stussy. I'll say that.
Oh wow, that's for what reason exactly? I need to know.
It's just they have a similar personality. I think most people would agree.
You know what? Let me think about it real quick.
Yeah.
Bow being Stussy. I mean, I can see Bow like, somebody simping over Bow. Bow be like, yo, I just need your help, Baka. So I don't know.
He's quite literally said that before.
I need your help, silly
Really?
Baka. He's definitely said silly Baka before.
Hey, have y'all seen the One Piece deepfakes with the Trump, Biden, and Obama?
Oh yeah, those are everywhere.
Oh no, but there's a couple that dude in the room, Liam, uploaded on his channel.
Yes,
Oh, they are freaking hilarious. Oh my god,
those are phenomenal.
Oh, they really are. I've rewatched them. I don't know how many times. Like Trump, you could give him any take, he'll find a way to make that hilarious. Like, it's insane.
Oh, I have seen the debates. I have seen them.
Oh, you've seen them? Oh,
yeah, some of them are pretty funny.
You know who Brago is? Brago might be Aokiji.
I like that.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
When he's almost too chill, to the point where I get pissed off sometimes.
But he got that dog in him,
Always late.
Hey man, y'all just on time. Let me see. I would say maybe Aokiji or Marco.
Marco.
Yeah, I can.
Marco's
see,
a good one.
Marco.
Or Marco. Yeah. It's just like, you know, man, I'm ready to retire, man. I'm ready. So,
yeah.
Like, I'm too old for this.
I'm too old for this.
30, what you talking about?
Yo.
See, I'm goofy most of the time, am I? Garp?
Yo, Brago doesn't respect Garp. Don't put that on him.
Garp is my...
Yeah, go Ray if you're going old.
The chat knows I'm one of the few people that like Garp in here.
That's cap. I like Garp. I like Garp a lot, actually.
Scaling conversation got you thinking we don't like Garp.
I like Garp a lot.
It's just like, yeah.
I didn't before. But now I do. Now I do. Now I respect his decision. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't an easy decision. Because even then, he still made a decision to help him. So, I don't hate Garp.
A lot of people don't like Shanks in here.
That's
not in here. Not in the last tournament.
In the chat.
Not in here. Not in here. Yeah. I mean, like
the chat. Was chat. Shanks won the
Yeah, that's true. Shanks didn't win the chat.
The chat poll. Yeah. I was surprised.
It was a whole conspiracy against Shanks. You hate to see it.
I don't know. I feel like people turn on characters in certain moments. I don't feel like Shanks has done anything for people to turn on him yet, and so people still like Shanks.
So Bao and Sen are just
they're just frauds. They're just frauds. That's all.
They're just hawk stands.
Yeah. The Kaido was strong, but I love Shanks more. There was a point in time where like I thought Kaido was gonna like make it into my top 10 favorite characters. Like he was like he had a lot of momentum, huh?
When did that turn around? Like when did he like? All right, now he's not gonna crack the top.
It was a flashback for me.
Yeah. After that's all we got, it was just.
I was like, that we ain't getting no more, are we?
Whoa. Okay.
Do you guys think we'll get more of the flashback or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then
it'll
maybe
be through a different lens though.
So if you get the flashback and it's like, oh, it's actually really good. Because we obviously there's more to why he's like the way he is. Right?
Then he could make it there, but based on what we know so far, it's just incomplete.
Yeah. He's on pause in your character rankings.
It's really unfortunate that he was written in a way to make us, expect a flashback, because you can go back to plenty of characters pre-time skip, right? Who we never got, like Crocodile or Enel. We never really got a backstory for them, but they were compelling, they were interesting. But with Kaido,
not as compelling as Kaido was though.
I think Kaido, it was the potential. I mean, because he got the intro, it just fell from 10K, like all that stuff. Like, you didn't really know much about him. Like he didn't have much of a personality, and that's why a lot of people were disappointed with him.
You know who's more compelling than Crocodile as a character?
Who?
Is Moria. He had the capacity to be more because.
But it ended up being a joke.
Yeah, like what made him a joke though? Is it Marineford?
Not Marineford. Even post Marineford.
Good morning, niggas.
Like so,
I like the fact that he cares about Absalom and them.
I think what happens, like when I think about characters that people like, even when somebody loses, they want you to regain your dignity, right? So it's just like with Doflamingo, like he took an L, but that nigga still talking shit in jail, So it's just like,
and it was a beastly L that he took,
So it's like even like the antagonist is gonna lose, but can they?
Their dignity doesn't go out the window with
it doesn't go out the window with that L. With Moria, all right, he lost to the Straw Hats. They all combined to lose, to beat him, right? Cool.
And then Jinbei.
And then Jinbei did nothing to him. And then fucking after that, Doflamingo was playing with him. It was just like, damn, like. And then he went to Blackbeard. Yo, give me back Absalom. Then Shiryu.
They're all laughing in his face.
They laughing at him, like.
Yeah, he just keeps looking like a loser.
Yeah.
But it's looking like a loser doesn't make you a bad character, though. I'll say. I think it makes me appreciate Moria more. Which I know people will think is a weird take, but it's like he fell off. That's the narrative around him. He fell off.
For me, it's very simple and he's very shallow. I just don't like the way he looks or sounds. That's just me. Like it's very simple.
I can't even lie. I think Moria sounds funny as hell.
It's a crazy take. Here's a crazy take because of the anime, and this is solely because of the anime. I like Queen way more than King in the anime.
Me too.
Yo, Queen is funny.
Queen is hilarious, bro.
Yeah, Queen is funny.
Yeah.
Oh my god! In the anime, King is just boring. He's just boring
They
as
gave
hell.
this man a whole music video.
No, because
Like,
I don't know if
Queen
you
is
remember.
different.
I don't know if you remember. I mean clearly we were all there, but it's like, remember the stigma around him? It was like, well, the guy ain't doing shit, man. It was around that point when we're in this point of the anime.
Yeah. Yeah, when Izo shot the sword out of his hand and shit. It's like, yo, what's up with this nigga, man? But
what's up with this nigga, man?
what's up with this nigga? Yeah, but Queen
what's wrong with Bull?
Queen is hilarious in the
You know
anime,
when I
bro.
started really liking Queen was not during Udon, but when Kaido and Big Mom were about to fight or whatever, he was trying to find excuses to get off the island. You're like, you sure you don't need my help? Like in Udon, like I can come through. In fact, I'm ready to go right now. And they're like, nah, relax. You know, you're good where you at. He's
Nah,
like, okay,
Queen
I
is
like this
great.
guy.
King is just, it's not much there. It's just not much.
Edgy, sexy, and edgy.
But I typically like edgy characters though. Like, but
Well,
okay.
yeah, but-
so
yeah.
for me, a character that I think is a great character based on just how they can go back and forth is kind of Kenshin. Like, you all seen Rurouni Kenshin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just how Kenshin in everyday life is goofy as hell.
Yeah, he is.
Like he's just a
Kinda
goofball. You know what I'm saying? But then
But when
it's time,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
What do they call him? The
Batosai.
Batosai.
Batosai, bro. Listen.
Yo,
he's
Shishio was too good. He was too good for that
dude,
series.
Shishio was like
Shishio's one of the best shonen
charismatic.
villains.
Absolutely. Like he's up there for me with like the Dios, some of the other great ones. Just like they carry evil so well. Like they're natural with it.
So you're saying, Brago, you're saying that you like when characters have more than one facet to them.
I feel like I resonate more with characters like that because, yeah, like you said, more than one side to them. Where it's like they can, depending on the situation, you know what I'm saying, they change. Or it's like, I think it's more relatable, right?
It is.
Yeah,
That's why I can't
nuance
really
is
get
just the
into
nature of life.
I can't really get into the whole Mihawk hype because I'm like, as a character, he's
Stale.
he doesn't have
This
much
bland.
to him.
He's bland.
His
He's very
strength
bland.
is his character trait.
But
Yeah, exactly.
Shanks
He's
is like
defined by it,
Kenshin,
right?
though.
Shanks is literally Kenshin, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same hair color and everything too.
Yeah,
Scar
Shanks
on
is
their
like
faces
Kenshin.
and all that. Yeah.
Where it's just like, and I think I appreciate characters like that, where it's, you know, you don't got to be serious and be that guy all the time because you know you're that guy. You know what I'm saying? It's just
Well,
like,
I feel like it's so for me, right? It's okay if you're like that, if there is a legitimate reason why you're like that. If I can resonate with it. With King, it seemed like he was just there, right? He was just edgy for the sake of it, which probably isn't true because his whole clan got decimated. So he probably has a reason to feel the way he does, but you never really get it. Like it doesn't come through in the way he gets portrayed. It's just like he's there.
Would you look at somebody crazy if they said Mihawk was their favorite character?
No, because he has a very clear purpose in the story.
he's cool.
He's supposed to be
a cool
that pillar
character.
of strength, and he's cool. Exactly. So he serves his purpose. So if somebody says they love Mihawk, I'm like, plus like we did get a little bit of his character the very first time we saw him. When he talked about like, I'm not, a barbaric to use like a what do you say? Like he won't go crazy just to hunt a frog or like something like that. I forget the whole thing that he said. But I mean, he called
a frog in the well?
a little frog in a well. But he's like, because when he took out the pocket knife, Zoro looked at him crazy, like, "Yo, this is really what you gonna fight me with?" And it's like, man,
Where it's like, that's cool, especially as an anime fan. That's really cool.
It's really cool.
But
So
somebody
it
as well
gives
who
you an
has that
impression.
in One Piece that's low key is Nekomamushi. Like Nekomamushi is like because he's like a kind of a goofball, like when he fucks with you.
He is.
But then like he is really serious because the niggas I forgot of the day or the night. It was like, he don't really fuck around. So it's just like Nakamushi's kind of that character where what's his name? Inarashi's more stoic all the time.
Yeah, he is. Rashi does have his comedy sides to him, like when he sees Brooke.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But here's the thing. Who's in my top 10 where a lot of people might look at me crazy is Roger, just because of his flashback.
Gold Roger?
I think, yeah. He has
everybody's top 10.
like favorite characters.
Favorite characters?
Yeah.
I think he got to people's top 10 after the flashback.
Dude, the flashback, you know, moment.
The flashback, he was saucy as hell. He was saucy as hell.
Made me bust up.
When he ran past Rayleigh and when he ran past Rayleigh and Scoffer to fight.
Nah, you know what it was? The scene that made me laugh so hard is when Odin was leaving Wano and they're all calling him a scoundrel, and then Roger looked at him and was like, scoundrel. He's like, you're the one that's asking me to leave. He's like, yo, you're the reason I'm leaving.
I definitely like Roger a lot more after the flashback, but when I think it was Odin, right? Where Odin was about to pull up on him, and then this nigga just ran past him, Rayleigh and Scoffer, and fucking laughing like, nah, I got it. I was like, yo, this nigga, it's like Luffy, but more mature, right? With more purpose. It's not just, he's not just moving with the wind. It's like, I have a purpose, I have an intent. You know, I have a plan with it. And I'm engaged in the, you know, sometimes Luffy like, oh, I don't care about that. I don't care about that. And he's like, Roger's actively caring about every facet of the journey. So, you know, with that, I don't know if that makes him better than Luffy, but it's just, I appreciate that about his character.
Honestly,
he was drippy as hell too.
Honestly, it's also the fact of how they were all acting when the crew disbanded. I'm like, damn, that moved me. I was like, yo, the fact that Roger's like, yo, I'm gonna get dropped off first. Y'all figure out what you want to do. Can you imagine like if the Straw Hats disband one day and Luffy's the first one to leave? That'll feel weird.
But I think he has to be the first one to leave.
I guess so.
Everybody has to say goodbye to him, right? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I guess they could just drop everybody off.
That's what disband means, right? Like the first one would. I mean,
because if the captain goes off by himself, you no longer have a captain. You know.